it's like we all trade from home. We're all isolated. We don't get to hang out that often. So taking the leap and coming out here, on top of that, spending the money to do so, I really appreciate that. So I'm going to introduce a few speakers this morning, and then I'm going to introduce the rest of our speakers tomorrow. So we got 2 days of learning. I'm going to give you a couple of insightful tips, since we've done this before, that'll help you take the most out of today. And then we're going to jump right in with some live trading. First, ask questions. Eric is backstage right now. You'll see him. He's in all black running around. He will have a microphone all day. So if at any point you have questions, we want to hand up, especially at the end of the presentations, and we want to interact with you guys. Lawrence remembers last year we had a good back and forth. So the dialogue brings out some great discussions, number one. Number two, network, please. I encourage people anytime I'm at these events to make friends. Do not be shy. You will regret it. Connect. Get phone numbers, get Discords, do what you got to do to maybe find a person that's going to be your trading buddy for life. Some of you have done that at these events before, you know? Network. And then the last tip, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I know you have other shit. You got a wife, you got a kid, you got this. But try your best to immerse yourself here. A lot of us, like I said, work from home. We're isolated. This is a big, let's settle in and really digest everything. So questions, network, and focus. Sound good? Come on, everybody. Does it sound good? Come on. So first, I'll introduce Brian Shannon. Brian's in the back of the room right now. Don't get up and swarm him, please. But can we give a round of applause for Brian, everybody? I'm going to start with this. You can read Brian's beautiful bio, right? That's his accolades. But what Brian said to me last night says all about Brian. Everybody knows Brian for his books, I think. I said to Brian when he showed up last night, I go, "Where's your wife? I thought she was coming. I was excited to meet her." And he goes, "No, I had to leave her at home because we had 3 pallets of books show up because we sold out on Amazon. So I'm waiting for my commission, Brian, on helping you sell out them books." But if you haven't grabbed Brian's book, he has 2 of them, and a little birdie told me there may be a 3rd one coming. So if you haven't read the first 2, now is the time. If you brought a book and you'd like to get it signed by Brian, or if you'd like to take pictures and do all that stuff, I'm asking everybody, for all the speakers, just hold off until happy hour. You guys see the schedule in front of you on the table. Happy hour's at 4:30. We're going right outside. It's going to be beautiful. Do the pictures, do the autographs, do all that stuff later for me. Let Brian be peaceful. We all just enjoy. Make him feel like a celebrity later. With me? Cool. So Brian has definitely been known as the Godfather of the VWAP much longer than I think from when I found him a few years ago. But Brian's trading goes all the way back to 1991. Brian is probably one of the OG day traders. Brian's experience has seen technology change from paper slips to now what we do today. And I'm really excited to have him here because Brian's experience covers all different markets, all different time frames. So you're going to hear from him today. He's going to do a keynote for us after the live trading session. And then tomorrow we're going to do like a little podcast fireside chat thing where I want you guys to ask him some questions. Anything that's left unanswered, we'll get it out then. So Brian, thank you for being here. I know everybody's super excited. We'll get into that later. Zach, sitting in the back, Arbuchi. A lot of you know him from Prop Firm Match TV. Zach is also here. We can give Zach a round of applause. Absolutely. Zarb and I know each other for a while. Zarb was a trader in the Black Shirt Club with me for a while, and now he's grown to outpace the rest of us, as you can see from the payouts, crushing it from Tradeify, from Apex, from Lucid, everybody. So if you want to talk payouts, talk prop firms, he's your guy. Zach's going to be live trading tomorrow, so you'll hear a little bit more about his trading strategy tomorrow. Evan, you can give Evan a round of applause, one of my business partners. The young buck, absolutely crushing it. If you were here last year, you remember he took payouts. If you were at the event, the second event last year, he took payouts there, so we'll see if he takes another one today. I'm not going to introduce myself. All of you know who I am. Zach, Real Deal Futures, give him a round of applause. We got Mr. Real Deal back for year 2. So Zach, I say this, and I'm not being dramatic, Zach is the encyclopedia of prop firm rules. If you want to know what's changed or what's going on in the prop space, this guy does all the research. He probably does more research than Prop Firm Match. They should probably hire him, if I'm being honest. So if you have any questions about prop firms, payouts, anything like that, he's your guy. Mr. Bruce is in the back. James will be up on stage. Some of you don't know James. James is from South Africa. You can give him a round of applause. He's my business partner. He doesn't get out too often, so we're happy to have the wild South African out on the loose here. And then Mr. Chris Drysdale up front, everybody. A lot of you trade with Chris. A lot of you grabbed his book. Can I spill the beans? There's another book coming. It's out. And you guys are going to have some access to that today when you get into his presentation later. But Chris is a longtime trader. There it is right there. Chris is a longtime trader. It's actually like in his blood. If you listen to our podcast that we've done, like it goes way back for him. So Chris has a ton of trading experience. And more importantly than his age and experience is he actually is also trading a cash account. So a lot of you here are doing prop firms. Here's a guy who's doing a cash account and has been doing it for a long time. So if you have questions about that, a great guy to ask. And then the one and only Mr. Strong Trader. I feel like my intro for you this year is much more tame than last year. I think last year he came through that door with a barbell and he was like doing deadlifts on the stage. But if you don't know Tanner Owings, everybody give him a round of applause. Really appreciate him and all the guys being here. Tanner's a great trader. I mean, Tanner is probably one of the most aggressive traders. When he's hot, he crushes it. And also, Tanner's one of the best at bouncing back after he loses. So if that's something you struggle with, I think Tanner's a great resource. He has a great presentation today about actually bouncing back and making your trading day excellent. So we're going to jump right in with the live trading, everybody. That's going to be the plan this morning. So do me a favor. Phones on Do Not Disturb. If you'd like to take a phone call, just leave, please. Well, this is really supposed to be a little bit like a lecture. So if you have questions, hand up. But I think it's time for us to begin, boys. So, Chris, I'm going to pass it to you if you're ready to kick us off with a little pre-market prep. Yeah. You got a microphone or no? Where is it? No? You can take it. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? All right. So, I'm actually already long NQ here at 512. Okay? During our little speech, I saw us come down to a low volume area on the profile. Okay? That's this kind of orange level here. If I were to zoom out a little bit, right, this is this area right here that we're coming down to. Okay, so with my system, we use the VWAP and we use its deviations. All right, the deviations help us understand whether the market's in balance or we're in price discovery, both on shorter time frames and longer time frames. Okay, so as we continue to move sideways overnight. Yes, we did hit all-time highs, but as you can see, we're forming a distribution on the profile. Okay, that's where we expect price to rotate and move in a sideways pattern until we leave it fundamentally. All right, so to the upside or to the downside. Here, we're testing the downside. You can see yesterday's volume profile. We have a point of control. Coincidentally, was the low of the overnight session. Okay, often a springboard when it retests prior value. Okay, a lot of my trading principles are based on auction market theory, okay, which says that price is in one of two states. We're either in balance or price discovery. So a lot of what we have to do is decide what context is the market demonstrating right now. And once I understand the market context, I can align it with a proper setup, okay? Now, we did put in highs on NQ last night around 9 p.m. Okay, we've been holding this lower area around 500 ever since. All right, I have principles that I trade by. My principles say that as long as the market, I'm going to follow what the market's currently doing, and I'm not going to anticipate a shift of the market conditions. So as long as we continue to hold here, I'm going to expect it to continue to hold until that condition shifts. Okay, so it might come back. It actually just stopped me out at break even. Okay, so that long is done. Not a winner, not a loser. I'll see what it does back at this level. If we show more strength, I might take it again. But otherwise, I'm going to allow it to show its hand a little bit. Okay.
So when Chris is going through this, everybody, something that you'll notice is the process he follows is very repeatable. Who in the room feels like process, like pre-trading right now when they're at home, is on point? Hand up if you think your pre-trading routine is on point and there's no improvements. You love the way you approach the desk every morning. Okay, great. I love that. So let's fix that, shall we? Chris, what time do you wake up?
I usually wake up at 5:30.
What time do you start trading?
Normally, I don't start trading until about 8 to 9.
Okay, so right there, everybody. What time are you waking up? And what time do you start trading? Think about it, right? There's a good couple of hours. Who's waking up and just jumping right into trading? They got to get a trade on before they go to work. right? That's not really where we want to be, ideally. We want to rebalance the schedule to allow for more time and more focus so you can have a good process like Chris is doing that becomes this repeatable thing. He wakes up, he gets on the bike. He knows what he's doing every single, not actually a bike. Are you riding a bike in the morning?
Sometimes, yes.
There you go. Okay, so he is on the
Sometimes I
bike
am riding a
sometimes.
bike.
What tips would you give to the guys out here who are trying to refine that pre-trading routine? Because you jump in like that right away. You've been looking at it this morning, and I think a lot of them maybe feel like, wow, I want to be able to like approach the chart with that level of intelligence with little work. So what pre-trading do you think is important for them to focus on?
Right. So you hear the word discipline thrown around a lot in trading, right? I think that spills over into our lifestyle as well. So if I don't have discipline in my lifestyle, it's really hard for that to carry over into my trading. Okay, so I start with lifestyle first. Good sleep, good food, exercise, making sure I'm not overstressed by relationships or outside problems where I can focus on what I need to do. All right, that comes first. Without that foundation, it's very difficult for me to have effective trading on a daily basis. Okay, that's where it all starts. And I'm glad I stopped out of that trade because it's continuing lower. The next area I'm going to watch is going to be 466. That is a weekly area. That's a higher time frame upper deviation area. So we'll see if that gets respected. That will likely clear the lows of overnight. It's about to test the overnight lows at 481.
Can you go through these indicators real quick?
Absolutely.
Who has seen Chris trade before? Let's do that real quick. All right, good. It's a lot of them. Good. So let's just, for the other ones, let's go over this indicator just so we can show them what you're looking at. What's composite 4 mean?
So composite is pulling the last 4 sessions of trading together into a composite volume profile. So it's including all 4 sessions, and it's pulling the low volume areas as these orange horizontal lines. It's marking where the low volume areas are, essentially. Low volume areas I treat as essentially support or resistance. I expect them to hold until they don't, right? Not everything holds all the time. Once it breaks, right, it can slice through really fast when it does break, right? And then we expect somewhat of a return to value into a previous value area. Right, so next stop is probably this point of control, weekly upper deviation. So just like we have the daily VWAP and its deviations, I use a weekly and I use a monthly.
When you look at all of these, I bet there's someone out here thinking, that's a lot of VWAPs. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of WAP. How do I know which WAP to trust the most?
That is a lot of WAP. I agree with you.
And that's a lot to say, that there's a lot of WAP. Normally you can't get too
in Europe we say WAP as well.
Sorry, I know Brian's in the back probably toes curling because I say
WAP.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, the higher time frames are extremely important. And as we all should understand, that markets are fractal, right? What can happen on a lower time frame can be different what's happening on the higher time frame, right? What's beautiful is when we can get multi-time frame analysis. There's somebody in the back of the room that might acknowledge that saying, right? We have to look for some form of alignment. So if we can get price discovery above all of these areas, that's some really nice confluence and alignment for long trades. Same to the downside, right? So now what we're experiencing is a little bit of a mixed signal, right? We're below the Globex VWAP, right, and deviations, but we're coming into the weekly upper areas. Which one do I trust, right? Well, the higher time frame is extremely important, and it has the highest expectancy. Right? I can get a bigger move off of a higher time frame level than I can an intraday level. So as we come down into this weekly level at 465, right? If that level holds, that can be a serious bounce to the upside.
Is it hard for you to short the market when we're at all-time highs, or is that easier for you?
It used to be a lot easier. I've gotten better at that. I used to love to short everything. I've moved on from that.
Who can relate to that? All right, we'll fix y'all.
Yeah. So, that was a problem. And so far, we didn't touch it, but we've also had a really strong reaction to that general zone. I missed it.
Any initial questions on these indicators with Chris and the way he approaches this? This makes sense so far? Zach, can we go to you for a sec?
Absolutely. I'm going to need to.
Yeah, we can redo that. That's easy. I saw you were looking at the news. Something that Chris did not mention is the fundamentals this morning. So yeah, we're at all-time highs, but I saw you're looking at a few different sources. You want to touch on just what you're looking at and why for the news today?
For sure. First off, just want to say what's going on, guys. So happy to be out here. Excited for all you guys. You're awesome. Super stoked. If you find me after the show, make sure you say what's up. I'm happy to answer any questions. No big red folder news. I'm looking at News Squawk. This is a real-time financial news service. It is paid. If you want to hook up on that, I think I'm the guy. I was just checking to see if we had any headlines coming in. I'm not a fundamental-based trader. I'm not a news-based trader. I like to know if we have big red folder news. I like to know if it's going to be NFP, CPI, FOMC coming up. I will trade a little bit differently on those days, but we have just been in straight up headline driven volatile markets. And I found that at least starting to pay attention, like we're getting ready to trade 9:30 a.m. Want to see if anything crazy is coming in on headlines. Nothing too insane, which is like everything's insane these days, unfortunately. But that's what I'm checking here on News Squawk. I'll jump right over my charts if we're good with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, taking a look at YM, I think I'm the black sheep here, probably the only one trading Dow. I will also take a look at NQ. Okay, we got Tanner trading Dow as well. Right now, Dow's kind of the odd man out, pushing to the upside. The way that I like to trade Dow maybe is different than Tanner, maybe is different than a few out here. More of a mean reversion, reversal style play right into NYSE Open. It's something that I find very simple, very repeatable, like we're talking about. I will use discretionary levels. So looking at my chart right here to the top, we've got a high time frame zone coming off of basic price action, market structure, and a little bit of visible range volume profile. I went ahead and added in some prior week volume profiles as well. We could see we're just cracking last week's high right now. It was also last week's value area high. We're pushing that to the upside. We're above that big round psychological number, the 50,000s. As this market gets ready to start to open up here at 9:30, my initial play would be to potentially short this back down towards VWAP. So that mean reversion style play. Again, watching whatever instrument you want to trade, you'll notice that certain patterns play out over time, repeatedly, right? It's not going to play out every single time. That's not our goal. Is it going to be enough to be dangerous? Maybe slightly more often than not, or presents a good risk structure, a way that we can make a little bit more when we win, lose a little bit less when we lose? I think yes. So that's going to be my initial play on YM. Going to be interesting since we're pushing it right now. I wish we were 30 minutes ahead and I'd be getting ready to short this now.
Why won't you just take it now?
I don't love to trade into NYSE Open. It's just that uncertain volatility. I've done it a few times live with the community.
So the trade comes after the open then?
I like to wait until after the open.
Got it.
A couple minutes. Like I'll trade real close to 9:30 open, but I don't love to be in ahead of that 9:30 candle.
Okay.
Same way I don't love to trade news. It's not that it's any less certain what's going to happen. It's just that unexpected change in volatility that can be really hard to anticipate and structure risk around. So that's the reasoning there.
Love it. Tanner, can we go to you? You want to give us a little update? Get you back up here. We're traders, not tech people, so there we go. Beautiful.
All right. Hello. What's good, everybody? What's going on? Good morning. So let's go over a little bit of kind of how I pre-market prep. I think this will be really beneficial for you guys just to kind of see. Let me make this guy bigger right here because I did pull up all my clean daily charts without any lines and levels. So I'm primarily a levels, market structure, and VWAP trader. Like I literally just love looking at certain price action and structure that's forming. Are we sweeping it? Are we failing? Are we reclaiming? But a big part of my pre-market process is actually like I trade a lot of the different indices depending on what I think is in play and just has a better daily setup. I am a bigger picture top-down trader. And I think this is actually something a lot of people don't do in the trading space is like we all get so fixated on like, okay, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute. But the bigger picture thesis of when you're creating an idea or a narrative behind a setup and a play overall comes from bigger time frames. So if you're not looking at the daily chart, look at the daily chart. It's going to help you. So I pulled this up here. I pulled up all the micros because, again, I don't have any lines on these, so it's like it'll be cleaner for your eyes. Just looking at these four right here, what do we see, right? What can we see that's going on in the most recent daily candle? Well, NQ swept the highs and now is starting to push down almost red. YM, the odd man out, up almost 1%, a bunch of bullish previous daily bars, and we haven't come to test all-time highs. Money likes to rotate. It doesn't just stay in one spot. And so sometimes what you'll see is NQ's weak, YM's strong. And so this is why I like to look at the daily chart going into the open because I'm primarily like a long bias trader. It's just easier for my eyes to see that. And markets do go up generally all the time. So I'm going to be leaning towards YM today, and I'm actually glad Zach went right before me, because if we do get that rip at the open and it rejects and he takes that short and he trades it down to VWAP, it's going to be a handoff, baby. I'm going to be looking to long VWAP and take it back towards the highs. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be waiting for, is that. I do have M2K down here, which is RTY, which is the Russell. If you're unfamiliar with trading it, it is very slow sometimes and boring. So it's like, definitely get familiar with some of these markets if you've never traded them before, because they all do trade different, right? ES trades different than NQ. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Like NQ is like a bull on steroids, just ripping, but ES is a little bit more stable, right? But sometimes it's not as fun. So that's the thing, is like, make sure you practice understanding how these markets move before you kind of just go into it. But bigger picture top down's the big thing I'm looking for. So from there, let's go into this grid right here, where I have a bunch of my other time frames. So I'm going to pull up YM so you guys can see what I'm looking at here for this reversal. So again, I have a bunch of lines. That's why I didn't want to show you guys the other charts. You're probably like, dude, how do you even read that? But when we get into smaller time frames and they're actually there, you can see like the levels make sense and they have validity. So I'm watching for a couple things. Like I said, that pullback to VWAP down here around 50,050. I have a level here at 50,100 area. And then anything around 50,000 that potentially holds, like in this zone, I'm going to be looking for longs if we get the pullback, right? And again, when you are creating a thesis or doing pre-market prep, everything is just if-then scenarios. If this happens, then I want to do this, right? If we just rip and just keep going and going and going and never get a pullback, I'm going to have to pull an audible and try to be like, okay, like what do I want to do here? Do I want to chase this? Do I want to look for a pullback entry? How strong is it, right? And this is a big part of like, when you have a setup and you're looking for a setup, that is just like the small criteria of it, right? Like practice creating a narrative. Practice creating a bigger picture thesis of what you think is going to happen. And then the smaller time frame setups, whether it's a pullback to VWAP, a 5-minute orb, or like, like whatever you're trading, that will all probably align really well based on that bigger picture narrative. So that's what I got today. Really focused on YM. If that doesn't work, I also do like RTY, like I said, because RTY does have that nice, some nice kind of consolidation here that we could push back towards the highs. I'm just really not interested in NQ at all-time highs. Yeah, I'd probably just want to play a pullback to VWAP long, because it's going to be, that's just what's been working every single day. And honestly, I don't treat ES. Nothing against ES. I just don't navigate towards it naturally, and I just don't trade it. So it's always pretty much YM, NQ, or RTY, and that's the plan. So
one thing I think we should take from this, everybody, is like, you identify what type of trader you are first. Do you want to be a trend trader? Do you want to be a reversion trader? Like, and then what tool do you use? Because that type of trading aligns with your personality. So you find the tool to help you be efficient with that. Tanner doesn't see efficiency for his strategy and the way he wants to trade in ES. A lot of us that trade in trend and like to trade trending moves like ES. Some people like Tanner have a hard time with NQ at all-time highs. That's not a bad thing. Find the right tool. Find YM. Find RTY. So that's a great tip.
And one of the biggest takeaways I want all of you to get from this conference in general, I love what Austin said in the beginning, like number one, network. I've been to like so many in-person trading events, and if you don't talk to everyone and just be friendly, like we're all here to learn, obviously, but also to connect and network, because a lot of us just sit isolated all day, alone, trading, and it's lonely, honestly. It's like, yeah, we have our online communities and stuff like that, but like being in person, like, let's get a beer after, let's take a shot after, let's hang out, let's socialize. Like it's fun, it's worth it. And then again, like you'll make connections, you'll meet people, maybe you'll meet new trading partners, you never know. So like make sure you're putting effort into doing that. And I promise everyone's nice. And if you're not, let me know, because you're
Lies.
Kick you out.
Lies. Who here feels like they don't know what asset they want to trade? It's okay. I will not roast you. KV, shut up. I'll roast you. Yeah, still a little iffy. What are you guys thinking? NQ, ES? Is it because it's hard to trade it at all-time highs? Do a lot of you feel like you don't like being long at all-time highs? Hands up if you don't like being long at all-time highs. Hands up high. Okay. So what have you done? I'm curious to know. The people that don't want to be long, when the markets are moving up, we could just listen to that sentence alone and wonder why, but we'll move on from that. The people who don't want to be long when markets are moving up, have you thought about looking for another tool? Have you thought about looking for a different asset? Or are you trying to put a square into a circle, a square into a round hole. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to be a reversion trader in a market that's not reverting. Fair thought. Who came to this conference to change something in their trading? Who came to the conference to confirm something that they're already doing? Interesting. Okay. Change is good and confirmation is good. I think we can do both. Ev, you ready? The best for last, right?
So what's going on, everybody? I'm going to keep it probably pretty simple. If you see me trade, I don't do anything pre-market taking a trade-wise. So we're going to let the 15-minute opening range set, which is like 9:30 to 9:45. Me and Austin are very similar in that aspect as well, of letting a side of that range be broken as well, kind of dictate where we want to go maybe for the next hour or so. So I could have a pre-market plan. I've had plenty of them, and then I sway it, and it changes at the open based off of new information, which I think we say it all the time. Hold your strong opinions loosely. That I could hate shorts right now, but then depending on what the open does, I may have to take a short because it's screaming at me to do so. So I try not to get too locked in on one side, although it's normally to the long side here. It's tough to get me to short it at these all-time highs just because I've been burnt so many times. But on the screen here, you can see I just have this one VWAP. The overnight, we'll fill them in more as the open comes in. You can see on the indicator down here in the bottom right, those will fill up with more as we get more into the open and more of the VWAPs paint. So looking at ES and NQ for myself, mostly NQ, it's beneath its overnight VWAP, that black one. But you can see ES in this pre-market at least has already made a new high and above it. So that right there, I don't love the slight disagreement, although they could both sell off at the open or bounce back higher. Again, another reason I like to wait. Tell me who's more in control at the open, through the open, 15, 30 minutes into it. So I would like to lean long. I mean, ES is not telling me to sell it here yet until we're beneath this black line. This is kind of like the pullback to VWAP that me and Tanner both look for to see this level held, trade back into trend. Pretty simple, and that's what I want to do every day. But with NQ, if I were to take it over there, there's not the long setup at all to be bouncing off this black line and back higher. So I'll probably have to wait to see if NQ can get back above, knowing ES already is above. That's going to make my decision a lot easier. But I'm not looking for shorts quite yet, as NQ is beneath this black one. This light blue one is from yesterday's New York Open at 9:30. So if this could be defended, it's right on the value area high as well. Another key level that I look at, we have it here in the indicator. But just another thing that we could find support at and bounce back into this bullish trend. I think something that saved me a lot of money, at least at this all-time high rip, is not being too quick to sell it unless we're beneath the previous day's low or have broken out of it, which we are nowhere close to that. So doesn't mean the shorts can't work out, but I'm probably not going to take the first opportunity to sell it. If I'm going to trade in trend, the trend's still not bearish to me. It could just be the pullback, higher low, move back into the bullish trend. So I think for me, the most thing is just waiting 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Saves me a lot of money. I'll miss some winners, but by waiting that 30 minutes, I get a lot of information to use to my advantage to take a better trade at 10 o'clock, 9:45, right? So that's the biggest thing I see is people have a bias. They're all excited to get into trading. They jump in right at 9:35. Could have been the right direction, even a great price, but like too soon into the day that you don't know where the structure for a stop loss should be, or you're oversized, and you lose in the right direction with a good price just because you couldn't wait 20 minutes. So that's the biggest thing I urge is just everyone slow down, let the market open, you'll find your setup.
I think that when you look at the different perspectives of the way each guy up here approaches trading, trying to take something out of each guy and implementing that into you, what aligns with you the most is probably going to be where you find the most value, everybody. One tip I think that you'll see is some guys are going to trade pre-market, a few minutes before the open. They might be ready right now. Zach, we're going to go to you in a sec. Might be ready right now. Evan's like, no, I'm going to go get a coffee, hit the bathroom, hang out, and then we'll look to trade. Is either one right? Is right even a question that should be in this room for the next 2 days? No. Does it make money? That's the question. Right? Is Evan taking payouts? Yeah. Is Zach taking payouts? Absolutely. So it's not about right. It's just, are you making money? More than you spend, more than you lose. So I think you can't think, as any of us shouldn't, no trader should think there is one path. There's tools, there's things that you can implement to help you be more efficient. But the path that's going to lead you ultimately to the most money you can make is your path only. And it's probably a conglomerate of all the people who have influenced you. I'm not just a mini Brian Shannon. I'm a bunch of other guys that I've learned from. And I'm a bunch of these guys because I take from them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the key to growing as a trader. I am not the smartest person in this room, and I never am. I am just the dog, and I am hard to kill. I evolve. I learn. I'm not afraid to say, damn, that was stupid. I literally, side note for a second, I got an email from someone this week. If you're on stream, you know this. I won't be long. He literally thanked me for helping him make the most money he's ever made in the last 3 months, and then ended the email by saying, but that short you took last Tuesday was retarded. And I was like, dude, I love you. I love you. You're right. That was retarded. So I think that humility met with the dog in you that just wants to learn and grow and take a little bit from everybody along the way, that's the key to success in trading. There's no one tool. VWAP is not the only way, as you can see. There's many ways to get to profit, but it's all going to be rooted in you. It's just you versus you at the end of the day with this thing. It's not you versus the market, as much as some people like to say that. You think it's you versus the market until you tilt. The second you have your first tilt day, you realize the market is not the bad guy. You're the bad guy. Market's going lower and you keep buying. Whose fault is that? You're going to blame the market? Find another job. Blame yourself, take accountability, look for the growth, find people around you like these guys, take a little bit along the way, and all of a sudden, those tilt days, they don't happen as often. I was the worst at moving my stop loss. Who has been following me long enough that remembers the Forex days? Denny's, you were at the first event, bro. I know you do. So you guys remember, when we were trading Forex and I was learning how to trade those first 4 or 5 years, the biggest mistake I would make is moving my stop loss when the trade would go negative. Who can relate to that? Come on, put your hand up high and don't lie. I know all of you are moving the stop at some point. How did I fix it? Do you think I took a pill? You think I went and got Botox? Went to Turkey and got my hair done? No, man. You grind it out day by day, taking accountability for the mistakes. Yeah, this is why I got the nice hair. It's turkey hair. You grind every day. You take accountability for the mistakes. You don't hold one trade so heavy that it's going to impact you and derail you from this path that you're on. You grind it out. You try to learn. And you accept the fact that you're going to lose. Who struggles with losses in life? I think we all do. Who has been working on detaching from losses in trading? I'd love to just hear a quick shout. What are you doing to do that? Has anyone got a book, a meditation? What are you guys doing? Someone say something, yell something. Budgeting. Allocating a set amount of money every month to spend on prop firms takes away the emotional tilt. Instant. Great tip. What else? Scale down, size down. Great tip as well. Slow down. They say in this game, size and speed kill. So, something to keep in mind. You got some sauce?
Yeah, as we're getting ready to trade, I think that's a great spot to lead into on the mindset side. We're faced with a paradox as traders, and what helped me try to understand losses, accept losses, was really 2 things. First and foremost, we are going to lose trades. Nobody here has a 100% win rate strategy. We don't know what's going to happen next in the market. We might believe we have an edge. We might believe we have a 70, 80% chance of one thing happening over another, but I don't know what Trump's about to say. I don't know what's going to happen in the Middle East. I don't know how all the algorithms are going to react. So I cannot physically know what's going to happen on the trade that I put on here with you guys today. I'd love to win. I don't know. If I hold that true at the same time that I'm ready to put risk on confidently, arrogantly confidently, I am not going to be as upset, or at least I can start to rationalize when I take that loss, right? The second piece is we have to build some discipline around our trading, like Chris was saying, on and off the charts. As much as we want to understand that, and we do, it's still going to sting. It's still not going to be fun to take an L up here, if I have to take one, right? It's never a great thing. We don't go, yay, yes, it's dulled down. Yes, we understand the nature of probabilities, the game that we're playing here. But you have to ask yourself, am I ready to take this seriously? Am I ready to accept these losses as business expenses? Do I expect them? Do I budget for them? Do I really understand how many losses I stand to take before I lose this prop account or live account, right? How many of you guys are getting ready to trade right now? In a prop account, a live account, hands up. Like right now, into the open. Okay, awesome, everybody, right? Do you know, or at least have an idea of your next trade loss limit, right? Hands up. Everybody's hand should go up. Everybody's hand should go up. The next question, even if you don't have the idea, do you know your daily loss limit? Maybe you're flexible. Maybe you say, hey, you know what? I take 2 to 3 trades. Maybe I take 1, maybe I take 3. And if the first one looks A+++, I'm dynamic with risk on the trade-by-trade basis. That's fine. Do you know your stop-out level? If you say no to that question, the account is a stop-out level. You're accepting that you will continue to trade until that account is blown. So think through that, right? We can't control what's going to happen next to the market. We physically cannot. We can control where we place our stop loss and take profit. We can control how much risk we have on our size. That is 110% in our control. Very few things in trading are. So, take power of that. Think about that, pre-plan that, and understand, man, try to understand. We're going to take losses. We got to be the casino here, not the gambler. We're going to take losses.
I'm curious, for the boys up here, what's the one-liner that maybe someone said to you that sticks with you about handling losses in trading? Does anything come to mind? Any advice that you've been given? Tanner, especially for you, you've gone to so many of these events. I'm sure, because, dude, you go up there, Luch, he's up there, all these guys. Those guys have lost more money than anybody, So what do they say about losses? What have they helped you with?
So one thing that really stands out to me is, you guys know who Lance Brightstein is? If you don't, he's like one of the greatest traders ever to this era. So Lance Brightstein, really, really great trader. Check him out. Seen him at a bunch of conferences and stuff. Gotten lucky enough to befriend him. He's one of my good friends now. I asked him one time at a conference a few years ago. I was like, you've been trading for 15 years. When you take losses now, does that feeling ever go away of oh, you know how it feels. Take a loss, you're oh, it sucks. I was like, does that feeling ever fully go away? And he goes, honestly, 15 years in, the feeling never goes away. But as you get more developed and skilled and build confidence, you learn how to turn the volume down on the loss. And you'll realize this too. I'm over 6 years into trading full time, and I can still feel last week when I had a really bad tilt day or something like that. But then in a couple weeks, I look back and I'm like, what did that day even feel like? I don't even remember. You kind of forget about it and you move on, because your goal is always to be what's the next trade? What's the next trade? You have a really big winner? Awesome, cool. You're done for the year. No, what's the next trade, right? So the more you sit and dwell on it, I think that's what really kills people the most. And take it from me, because I probably have the lowest hit rate out of everyone up here. My hit rate's only around 35 to 40% for winning trades, but my R multiple is close to 3, so I can hold that shit once I'm right. But I know that about the math, so it's I'm good at taking losses, taking paper cuts, taking multiple paper cuts, but I have learned how to take those losses over time and adapt to that, versus some people probably can't do that, right? And I love what you've been saying about everyone kind of has different strategies and stuff up here. Who here is in year 1 trading? Brand new, first year. Okay. Year 2. 3. 4.
You made it.
5. Okay. 6. 7. Anyone 10 plus? There we go. Okay, so some big dogs. I'll come talk to you later and learn some shit from you. But
let me add to you really quick, just to compliment you.
Yeah.
35% win rate. You guys know we're all friends. We talk all the time, especially me and Tanner. He calls me all the time. It's too much, to be honest. He will take these emotional moments and flip them better than anybody I've ever seen. And that's why he makes a shit ton of money. I'm just being honest. It's because he will lose and spiral, literally ready to quit trading almost. I'm not even being dramatic. Some days we've had that FaceTime. And then a week later, he's up $17,000. He's up $26,000, whatever. Why? Where some people would lose like that and it would get worse. So why do you think you're able to bounce back? It has to be because he's detached. And on Lance's point, I don't know if this is a nice thing to say. You guys can come up front. We got seats up front here. We got some space all around here. And Eric, we can grab some extra chairs if needed too. You got to get your money up. As Lance made more money over those years, why was it easier to turn the volume down on the losses? Because he was making millions and millions of dollars. Let's just keep it real. Mm-hmm. As you make more money, you will probably be able to handle losses better. But without the discipline that Chris is talking about, I guarantee you will have the tilt day and the spiral. So you want to get your money up, you want to get your skills up, you want to get your discipline up. Because without the discipline, when you get the money, you have the skills, you can still tilt and lose it. And some of us have experienced that to the tune of a lot of money. So
The last thing I wanted to leave real quick on the note of like how many years you guys have been trading. For all the newbies in year 1 through 4, let's call it, right? And yes, if you're still 4 years in, you're still a newbie. I'm 6 years in, and I consider myself like a little bit in the intermediate level. Like, keep the mindset frame of like, dude, how good am I going to be at year 10? And I know for some people in the beginning, you're like, dude, that's a long time from now. But you have to keep that mindset. And that's honestly something that's helped me so much, especially in my early years when I would just eat shit and just lose, only lose. I go, damn, but bro, if you keep practicing this, you're going to be really good at year 8, year 10, year 15. And I truly believe it's inevitable that you won't get there if you actually put in the process work. So if you're in year 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever, maybe you're still really just trying to find your strategy. Like, ask yourself, what makes sense to you currently? And then try to take little things you can from everyone, but still stick to your roots. Question.
hold on. Can we get the mic for her, please? Thank you. I can't hear her that well. No, I don't want you to yell. Eric's here for us.
What are some practical tips for building discipline specifically in trading? Because, like, I'm speaking personally, like, have very good discipline in every other area of my life, it seems like, except for here. And here I just completely, it goes out the window. So have you noticed a difference between, like, you wake up, you have your workout routine, you're disciplined in those areas of your life, your business, et cetera, like how to switch that over into trading where it's like you literally have to start from scratch.
It's a great question.
Build your own stuff.
Great question. Go ahead, Tanner.
Definitely. So, I mean, I'm similar in the sense of like I've competed in powerlifting for 10 years now. I've lifted weights every day for 15 years. I eat pretty healthy. I probably drink a little bit too many beers, but like for the most part, like I'm pretty dialed for the most part, like day to day. For trading discipline itself, like this is something that same idea. I was like, oh, that should all carry over. It should be perfect, but it's not exactly the same. But what I noticed for sure, what year are you in trading? How many years? Okay, yeah. So you're in that prime spot where stuff probably clicks a little bit, but then the other days you're like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. And so basically like the biggest thing that's going to help you right now in this specific era is the commitment to the journal work in the review every day. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but I do this exercise called the Easy Money Trade Setup. And I did this for like, I still try to do it regularly, but I did it a lot in the early years where basically no matter what happens that day, you need to find a chart in your setup and annotate it and document it and go through and go, where would I enter here? Where would I exit here? Like a perfect world. But do that exercise every single day and stay disciplined to that. And I swear I did that for like almost 2 years straight when I was learning just futures. And that's how I got so good at pullback to VWAP, because I would come into real time and I'd be like, oh, well, this should do this here. Or like, oh, this has a good probability of doing this here. And then I start executing in real time and I'm like, yo, this is happening. It's working, right? And then of course, you're still gonna have days where, like even Austin said, like you'll spiral. Like it happens to me all the time still.
Make sure you get a good friend like me that'll listen to you.
Yeah, I mean, you sometimes listen, then other times you're like, what do you want?
Sometimes I tell them, Jude, shut up. You'll be fine. You'll make it back by next Tuesday.
I know, but I just need to hear that sometimes. I'm like, I know, you're right, but let me bitch for 30 minutes and then get it out of the way, right?
If we were in an office, I would probably have to like take him into one of those rooms where it's like silent, and he would just stand there and scream, and like then he'd let it out, and then he'd come out and he'd be like, hey guys, what's up? I'm good. Let's go.
But yes, practice that exercise. I would say definitely for all of you, like I'll maybe try to show an example of it later, like what that looks like, but find your setup. That's your setup that you're working on. No Joe Schmoes, no TJR setup or whatever. Any BS.
Don't start, bro. It's early.
Sorry.
It's early.
So find your setup, document it, and like take a screenshot of it. Put I would have entered here, I would have exited here, I would have managed it here, and do it every damn day for literally the next 2 to 3 years. And you'll get so much more clarity, so much more discipline. And when you come into the charts, you'll be like, oh, this is good. Oh, that's not good. Or that's not good. So
I know Mark is getting ready to open up. I wanted to add to it. Use whatever tools are available to you, right? If you're struggling with discipline, use the risk parameters on Trade-Evade. If you're trading on Project X, use the lockout settings. If you're not using those and the training wheels are available to you, it's like bowling, and then you would make $1,000 if you knock down one pin, but you won't put the gutters up, right? Like put the gutters up, guys. You will have to take those off at a certain point. If you're struggling with trade management, you're constantly moving stop losses, moving take profits, jacking things up, take yourself off the equation. Take yourself out. Put the trade on, walk away. Maybe set some alerts so you can come back, make sure you get closed out. But that will at least start to build the confidence in what you're doing. At least start to build the confidence.
Great tip. Questions before we keep going? Market's about to open. I'll give you my pre-market thing. I know a lot of you have seen me trade before. The tool here that I like to use is Bookmap. Bookmap has been a huge add-on for me. I don't want anyone here to use it and rely on the Bookmap solely. I show this to people and they get excited because it's colorful and they think it's going to give them the secrets. It's the holy grail. It's not. But it is extremely useful. So let me just give you some quick thoughts on this. Who has traded Forex before? Who has traded crypto? Dogecoin, NFTs, all that stuff. Unregulated, decentralized. Futures, centralized. That's why this works. I said that as simply as I possibly can. What's up, brother? We got seats up front. If you'd like to come back, guys in the back. You don't have to, no pressure. But if you'd like to sit, I got seats up front still. So because we're getting centralized pricing through the CME, this is showing us the true order book. Leave that there. That isn't enough, I think, to convince you to be like, this is the thing that I need to trust forever. There can be spoofing, right? Spoofing got outlawed a long time ago. Spoofing is basically where you show you're going to buy something at a certain price and you pull the orders. You can see that on here. It's still a great tool once you do have your edge to find targets and to find key zones that price will pull to. I know, is anyone in here an ICT trader or has studied ICT? I won't roast you. Well, Zach, I said I won't roast you. I love them. They're my favorite people. There's 3 million subscribers. They're all profitable, I'm sure. So if you've traded ICT, you know liquidity grabs and things like that. As a day trader, the liquidity that I'm looking for is what you see right here. So I can see at the bottom of the screen, 74.65. Here's your market open bell. Who's got the bell? I love it. 74.65 has orders on it, which is down here. So that's a level I'm going to look at. And then above, of course, 7,500. Now, I side with Evan. I'm going to be long or nothing today. So I'm going to look for longs as we push into that 7,500. So that 7,500 block above on the book map, you can see how hot it is. It stands out. So it can be perceived as, wow, this must be so easy. I'm actually going to give you a tip that'll help you make money with this, which is that I want you to front run these blocks. So if you do start to incorporate Bookmap into the trading, you need to be looking at it as it's going to pull, and if I'm going to trade into the 7,500, I might get out a few points in front of it. You follow me on what I'm saying about front running these blocks? Does that make sense? If not, ask a question, please. Any questions? This works for NQ. This works for gold. You can do this on any asset. Cool? So for me, looking at this, we can see overnight, of course, we're bullish. I like to look at value areas, as the boys have put me on to. Above yesterday's low and above value area high and near 7,500, it's easy for me, because if it ain't easy, I don't want it. It's easy for me to take a long and lose. Why did Austin just say lose? Well, because I anticipate that I'm going to win, so I'm always thinking about the loss. I'm thinking, can I handle this loss? When I have to talk about this loss to my team, does this look like a trade that we should be involved in? You see, who here is taking a trade thinking about profit first? A lot of you. Hands up, come on. I want you to leave here at the end of the 2 days always thinking about loss first. How much are you going to lose? And then take it to Zach's extent. If you lose this trade, what is the loss you will take on the second trade? Can you handle that? You need to be thinking about risk first, not reward. So now that the market's open, boys, are we in anything? Chris is long. Anyone in the field long? Anyone in the chat long? We'll still call you the chat. You're the chat. Michael Schwartz long. Any shorts? Okay, one in the back. Luna, good. Zach, no short yet on the YM. Chris is popping here. So what you see on my screen, as Evan talked about, is this overnight VWAP, which starts at 6 p.m. Who is using VWAP every single day? All right, love it. Brian, did you see that? All the hands? That was beautiful. Yeah, so Chris is going to walk us through this trade really quick. These VWAPs that you see, if you can explain just which yours is, how it looks similar to mine. I have this black one, which is 6 p.m. yesterday. Do you have a similar one?
I do.
Click that on. Yeah, slide that up. He's a boomer.
Yeah, I'm a boomer. Millennial. Thank
I'm
you very much.
outnumbered by the boomers here. I love all the old people here. You guys are my favorites.
So, I mean, I have the Globex, which is the 6 p.m. Futures Open, which we're below, right? But I talked earlier about the higher time frame levels. I wanted to go long off of the weekly deviation, right? And that's essentially where this market bottomed out. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Probably not.
So I went long right at this red arrow here. And now I'm approaching about, 60 points in profit right here.
Beautiful.
I've already covered some of it as this is a short setup. Actually, we're coming into right around this area. So I'll probably close this out for a small winner and look for the next trade.
Beautiful. Why is that a short setup? Because it's pulling back into the band, and it's going to come down off the band potentially.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, cool. Longs, what's our target? Who's got a target that they're looking for? Do you like 7,500 on the longs? Yeah? All-time high? I like that. One thing that we like to look at once the market gets going too is, of course, checking Twitter and seeing what's going on. More important than that, though, if there's no news coming in, I'm going to try to stay on Bookmap as the focus for any moment-to-moment changes. If a news comes in, if a Trump tweet comes in, if something happens, Bookmap is going to show it to me almost faster, sometimes faster than TradingView. You'll see Bookmap move before the TradingView candles will even paint.
So the next setup I'd be looking for is a short at the VWAP.
What would be the stop on that first trade? And then what are you looking for the stop on the next trade?
So since there's really no decent structure behind here, I'd probably just have to give it a $1 stop. You know, I was willing to give this probably $100, $200 based on how I was sized with just 2 micros. So
I'm curious. I'd like to just deep dive as we're waiting for opening range to set things. Just deep dive for a second the willingness to be long at all-time highs. I'm curious from the chat. Has anyone felt like they've made maybe a transformation over the last 6 months? As the market has ripped, April was the best month for the NASDAQ in how many years? Does anyone know 10 years? Michael Schwartz, you know these stats, right? NASDAQ, April, best month since 20-something? A lot, like very good. And yet you're sitting here telling me half the room put their hands up and said they struggle to buy the market when it's moving higher. Do we want to just sit with that in silence for a minute and think about that sentence alone? You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to just think, who here is going through what I went through in 2021, where market was at all-time highs and I had that threshold moment of, am I going to short this again? Or am I just going to try to do the trend following thing and do the long thing? And that changed everything for me. So who feels like they're kind of on the fence right now? Liking longs at all-time highs, maybe liking shorts. Okay, not too many. Who wants to be long? Who wants to be trading in trend at all-time highs? Keep your hand up if you struggle. Okay, good. When you struggle with it, Troy, you want to speak on this specifically? What do you struggle with? Is it that when it's moving higher, you think it's got to pull back?
You know, this era of the Trump tweets, right? So I think as we move higher and higher, I think it's just being psychologically scared that at some point a tweet's going to come and just rip your face off. So every time I keep all-time high on my chart, and every time that thing keeps moving up, I just want to get out of the trade. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just a psychological, and I think a lot of this is, I kind of grew up in this game with these
shorted
tweets,
VWAP.
only 2 years into this, and it's consistently every day trying to be scared of that. But I'm with you at this point. I think a few weeks ago I just had to click that off and go, just keep going long.
That's why I'm glad you said that, because I think that's what it takes. When you're trying to make some of these changes, and it's the longer you've been trading, you're going to have to just flip a switch. You can't just decide, Tuesday next week, I'm going to try to stop smoking cigarettes. Like, no, you need to go, today, we stop smoking cigarettes. Today, I stopped trying to short markets at all-time highs. I stopped smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? Whatever analogy you want to relate it to, okay? Because that's just what I see. I'm curious, too, from the audience, when you're thinking about the macro and the environment, do you take a lot of that into play when you are day trading? Are you bringing a lot of Trump and Japan and bonds and Iran and war? Are you bringing that into your day trading? Yes? Okay, let's scratch that, I think, in my opinion. I think the start of getting more flexible to be long when we are trending higher and then to be short when we are moving lower. That's where you want to be as a day trader, moving with the market, not forcing the market. In order to do that, because of the short-term nature of our business, we're done trades at 5 p.m. Chris is out of this trade in 6 seconds. What does the macro have to do with it? I think very little. Would anyone like to debate me on this? Does anyone have anything that they think substantially they use in the macro, whether it's a news resource, where they wait for a specific news setup, that is their winning go-to? Because I would say probably not, right? So it comes back to the technical analysis. It comes back to just trading what is in front of you. And the amount of times that I've asked myself that question, what do I want the market to do versus what is the market doing? That question has saved me a ton of money. So I'll give you that one to write that down with your prop firm pen. I'll give you another one too. In Tanner's conversation, where was the winning trade for your annotation? Deep dive that. What could you have done to make more money? What could you have done to lose less money? That two-part question every day will make you a better trader after a year. What could you have done to make more money today? What trade would that be? What add-in would that be? And what should you have done to lose less? That's probably arguably more important. So write that down. Okay. Any other trades up here, boys? Ev?
I still got nothing on NQ. It just ripped. I think Chris's trade's working out probably very well for him. It's back up to that daily VWAP that we had on the pre-market, how we were underneath it. So being there now, if I was going to fight the VWAP, I would long it to it, right? But now that we're there, I want to see if we reject back underneath. Like he says, he sees a short coming in, or do we break through with buyers in control? Like I said, knowing that ES already has buyers in, so I have this long marked up as we bounce off this daily VWAP in black, and then now we have the blue one from today's open, the New York. So I'll be looking to use this blue one as the day goes on the most, but if we're above both of them, buyers are in control. You can see the indicator on the left here. Now ES and NQ both have VWAP alignment for longs, but pre-market NQ looked a whole lot worse for those longs. That's why I just try not to have any bias. Let's see what the open wants to do. YM's trying to get some lift now, so a couple more minutes, we'll get some more information.
You look at that book map, 7,500. Kind of looks like it's going to fill now. So something I'd like to pay attention to, it's not just staring at those colors above. I like to look at what's going on below. If the market is going to pull back, I'm going to see orders probably come on the book map below. So as we push into the 7,500, it's like a checkbox for me. Like Evan said, now we're hitting this level on book map. Let's see how orders come on and how price reacts at that level. I have no idea what it's going to do at 7,500. It may not even fill it. It looks like it should. And then from there, where do we go? Bookmap should be able to give us a guide. So we'll keep an eye on that. So Chris, do you want to talk about your short? You guys got some. Go ahead, Tanner.
So I'm currently long. I did take one attempt. You can see here I lost $387. I was waiting. I was looking for VWAP. I was too early, and I always start with a starter size. So this is 10 micros and MYM. I got in here on this flush through 50,000, then we reclaimed. So on the 1 minute chart here, if you can see, flushed it, reclaimed it, I got long, and then I added more because I was like, all right, this is going to be a really good capitulation spot if this fully holds. So now we can see, oh, this is my automation bot here. It's also long YM, so that's double bullish. I love that. So this is looking good so far, and now it's really just up to management. I have a really good entry here. My risk is only $300 on this trade. So if for some reason this comes all the way back down here and dies, I'm going to lose like $600 total on the day, which I'm totally fine with. But as we push back up here towards 200s, I'll probably take some off at 200s just because I'm here in front of everyone and I just want to like post some profit and do it right. Usually I probably would just hold this all day.
Hold it.
I'd hold it. But we got to see here too. Maybe this fakes out right here, this overshoots and then dies. But I have to be willing to sit through this drawdown right here and let it do its thing. So a lot of people get spooked and scared when they're like, oh man, you know, I'm up $1,000 right here. What do I do? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? And I just think about the risk. I'm like, I'm only risking $300 on this trade. And this is a $50,000 live account. So it's big picture. Like, I'm not worried about that. And I like this setup. Like I told you guys literally earlier, I was like, I'm watching YM to pull back. We talked about the handoff setup, literally. This is exactly what, you know, plan your trade, trade your plan. So I'm like, all right, it's doing exactly what I want to thesis-wise right now. And price isn't just going to go directionally straight up or down. But again, I got such a good entry. I'm literally only risking 40 points on this YM trade. Super, super small to gain. I'm looking to make like over 200 points. Someone do the R multiple math on that, right? It's a good amount. So let's see here how it does. Like I said, as we push up towards, I'll take some off here at one, like back into this structure if it gets up there. But yeah, let's see what it does.
7,500 filled, everybody, on the book map. You can see it right there. Those orders gone afterwards, right? So now we'll process where's book map going to put on orders from here. Zach?
I did not get my short. We didn't pop to the upside. Tanner got his back to VWAP play. So I did map out what would have happened, right? If I got short today into the open, it would have played out. The question that you have to ask yourself is, you know, how often does this happen? And you can only figure that out if you map that stuff out and track your data. For me, you know, I'll stick to my guns here. I find that trading right into NYSE open, ahead of the open every day, more often than not, just decreases my edge, gives me that uncertainty and volatility. if I watch this play out over the next, long period of time, and I say, hey, you know what? I've got a really good indication. I got a level getting hit here. This is beautiful, right back to VWAP. And I've watched this played out more times than not in my favor. Maybe I start to put that trade on. But it comes down to tracking your data, right? Doing your journaling, or at least going back and reviewing, throwing your executions on the chart and taking a look. So for me, for now, long story short, no trade. Back to VWAP on this one. I'm gonna be sitting patient on YM. NQ maybe a long. NQ has just been so bullish. I'm trying to find my way into these continuation trades in an extremely bullish market. It's not my forte, especially coming off of YM, but sitting patient here.
Anybody in the chat in a trade yet? So nice, there he is. What's up, Stephen Brooks, big dog? So who struggles when you're by yourself for this first 15 minutes to sit here and watch that candle just ripping? Who struggles with that? Nobody? Like, it's easy to sit there? Then why are y'all DMing me saying how patience is so difficult? Who struggles in the morning sitting there listening to a stream because you want to trade, but you know you're supposed to be disciplined? Who struggles with that? So notice community, notice like bouncing ideas gives the market time to give you more information so you can make the smartest decision possible. Have you ever heard traders talk about they say the first trade they take, sometimes they just shouldn't take it because it's a dumb idea? It's the same kind of idea, right? Like the longer you wait, the more information you'll get from price, the better decision you will make, regardless of the strategy. I think that we can all agree on that, right? You may find more setups later in the day. You may find less. I don't know. But we can't argue the fact that more price means more information, especially if you're a VWAP trader, right? More volume, more information. So Chris is out of his long. Yes? Beautiful. Any other trades here yet, boys?
No, I just want to add on that. A lot of you guys look at missing out on a winning trade that I knew I wanted to take it. It looked good, even though it may not fit your plan completely. You feel like you were going to predict that move, and it plays out. You look at it as I missed that opportunity, where maybe it was, but I just like to see it as I'm gaining more information. Okay, that trade won without me. Now that's telling me that I was right in the direction. Maybe I should keep on looking for it. What do I want to see now? And then you're just using that to your advantage. But if you just sulk in it of like, damn, I missed that, I wanted it, why didn't I take it? Then you're not going to be ready for the next one. You're just feeling bad for yourself when you probably shouldn't have even been in it. You just wanted to be in it. Because I want to be long on ES, but the range hasn't set. There's no breaks to the range. So it's just an idea of buyers look like they're in control. I should probably click long. But that's not really my setup. So the longer that these longs just keep going higher, okay, it's confirming that I'm on the right side of things. I know I can get another pullback to VWAP. We'll get the setup. But there's just no sulking on, I missed this easy move. I could have been done by now.
Love it. I'm about to get stopped out, and it's unfortunate, but it's just like, that was a good setup. I'm not mad about that. I take that 10 out of 10 times, but it's literally about to stop me out. It looks like maybe it doesn't. Maybe it holds on here by a hair, but I always keep my stop at the extreme. I don't touch it. I just let it trade. And honestly, that's just trading sometimes. Like, it's like, if it does stop me out, it's a good example of like, I would take this trade probably 10 out of 10 times.
I'm telling you that it's that index. It's broken.
It is. It's the YM. It's the boomer index.
I'll give you one input, then I'm going to go to Chris. Like, I said this last year, so I'm not going to deep dive it again. We talked about this. Please talk to your AI about the asset that you are trading. If you are trading a U.S. market, you should know what stocks are in that U.S. indice. And you should understand when the CNBC talking head analysts talk about rotation, you should know what that means. Has anyone been paying attention that the Mag 7 is absolutely ripping, except for Microsoft, right? Go back on the news, not even 3 months ago, and they were talking about rotation into the Dow, into AT&T, into Goldman Sachs. It's a completely different index. So when the other two, NQ is just ripping face. Look at Chris's screen here, just ripping it. Look at that. Look at his entry. Look at that.
Who called 460 long before the market opened? Who did that?
I'm just saying, when you look at the difference of these indices, it's not that, again, there is a right or wrong. Tanner's setup is a great trade. He's going to take that every time. But I think a deep understanding of the mechanics, now this is a little macro, but just when we rotate into certain sectors, I think can really help a U.S. indice trader. Does that make sense? The indices are made up of all the stocks that make up each individual sector, each individual grouping. So you should know when tech is in favor, NASDAQ's going to rip. When consumer goods and the industrials are doing well, the Dow is going to rip. So just something, food for thought.
So these other arrows are the take profit levels as we come into them. Now, we screamed up to the all-time high levels. If you held that, or if anybody took that, great job. That was the higher time frame. We call that a price discovery continuation long off of the higher time frame. Okay, we expect a pullback to a higher time frame level. That was the upper band on the weekly deviation, and that screamed to the highs. Now, just one more quick thing to notice. Now, we're kind of seeing this sideways VWAP and other signals that we could still balance out up here, right? I'm not convinced that we're going to rip continuously through more highs and higher. So we're going to watch here to see if there's a rejection for more sideways action with a pretty wide range, about 200 points. So we'll see what happens there.
Anybody else in a trade yet? Patiently waiting. Yeah? Long, short? Short. I'll show you my idea on the short. We play something called a double break of opening range. I'm going to teach you guys this trade in a little bit. But today, the double break trade is in play to the downside right now. So the essence of a double break trade is once opening range is set, we can identify key levels to trade from. Opening range is the first 15-minute high and low. It's automated here with this thing I got. These black lines are my high and low. So this is pre-market. As Chris said, it pulled back into that overnight VWAP, and then we bounced for his trade on NQ. This is ES. So now that ES has set the range and broken the range to the upside right there, the double break trade, which does not work super well right now to the downside, which is what I'm showing you, so I'm not telling you to take this, just being clear. The double break then says to trade for the break of the low, of the session low. Could that happen today? Absolutely. The entry for that trade, in my opinion, would be the take of New York VWAP. You would look to short on the break of that New York VWAP. Whoops. Like, again, I wouldn't do it today. And you'd be looking for something like this. Not that great of a setup, where it's just probably one of those days at 7,500, you're just buy, decent stop loss, and we make some money. I know that's a little bit ignorant to say, but a lot of you are overthinking trading. Isn't that interesting? It's probably the most common thing that I've seen in the last couple of years. As the Blackshirt Club and our mentorship and stream have grown, it's crazy how so many smart people have come into the group and into our live stream, and they struggle. And I'm like, dude, you are way smart, doctors and engineers and stuff, and you're way smarter than me. So there's definitely a balance, and I think Brian will definitely speak on this a little bit too. There's definitely a balance of EQ and IQ in trading. It is not all IQ. Emotional intelligence is extremely important. We're ripping, boys.
So pull me up real quick. This is something, see, this is why I'm big on leaving the stuff where it is.
He's edged, everybody.
I was edge, and guess what? I added.
Oh, my
I added
God.
more down there because...
Clap for it, everybody.
Because
Love it.
It's not green yet. I'm
That's
not
why
out of
he's
the
here. We
trade,
brought him
but
in.
holy
Rip
shit.
your shirt off, D-Gen Den. Let's go. It
but
should say D-Gen Den, not Futures Bootcamp.
But this is why I'm really big. So I never average down, but I average up all the time. And it's stuff like this, where like we came really close. We structurally just made a higher low. I'm like, I can add here. My risk obviously does increase a little bit, but I'm okay. If I lose this trade, I'm going to lose a total of 645. I'm cool with that. My daily stop is like 4,000 or 5,000.
You don't even have one, don't lie.
So it's like
You don't have a daily stop.
So yeah, I don't have a daily stop. Just goes forever. But again, like this is the idea of like when you get a really good location on the chart, a good entry, and then it comes back, and then now I like to go back to the basics. What's the basics of market structure? What's the basics of trading? Higher lows, lower highs, market structure, all that type of stuff. So it's like here, I'm like, okay, we pulled back down, came back to 50,000, held 50,000 again, and now we made a higher low. I'm like, well, I have to add. Like it's giving me like another potential opportunity to say, hey, it's really working. And if this really just flushes here and fails, so be it. But if it works, now I'm going to be like, damn, that was a sick ad. That was awesome. So let's see. I don't know. We're rejecting VWAP again here. Again, this could fail. I'm not going to add one more time or anything. I'm going to let it do its thing now. But this is how I like to structure trades and look at them.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll see. It might fail. But again, I'm totally okay with it. Totally cool with it if it does. I think it was a good attempt. Yeah, probably about to fail.
Real quick on the macro, we're not macro. Silver is down 4%. Oil sitting around $100 a barrel. YM rated 50,000 today. Look at NVIDIA is up 2.5%, baby. Everything else, though, pretty flat on the tech side. So you see I have my Mag 7 here along the right watch list thing here on TradingView. It just helps me to glance over and see what are they doing today. I know Apple is absolutely ripping face at near $300, right? I'm sure Brian, I'm not stealing his show, but look at this VWAP from all-time high take on Apple. When you do like a case study of VWAP on the swing trading, it's unbelievable. VWAP anchored to all-time high. We took it at 271. A couple days later, we're at $300. I'll show you another one here. NVIDIA, I mean, we know it's ripping. All-time high. VWAP was taking at 188. We're at 231. Google, look at that thing, man. Rocket. Meta, just one to keep on your watch list here, everybody.
No, NVIDIA just overtook
Gold.
silver.
Gold, yeah. And then this one here, look at Tesla. All-time high VWAP was just taken. These are weekly candles, everybody. All-time high VWAP taken at Tesla, 427. We're at 443.
Bubble? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that bubble talk, you know? Yeah, maybe. It's not going to make me or lose me any more money. Questions from the chat. I'd love to hear some questions. Silence. Is anyone else in the trade? Michael? Long? Okay. If you read VWAP today, from market open, there has not been a single closure under New York VWAP. So since 9:30, the last 30 minutes almost, there are no sellers able to push ES lower. Who wants to short it today? Come on.
Me.
Tanner. Somebody that likes to be aggressive is going to short it today. Versus Evan's going to sit there patiently at the end of the table, quietly take a long, and zero stress. That's why he's got that nice hair. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have full VWAP alignment for the longs on ES and Q. Everyone concedes that it's more so bullish than bearish. So it's always like, well, if I long it here and I lose, how could I have shorted that? Nothing was telling me to. We're above every single VWAP that I look at. Structure is still bullish. I had a good stop loss. Okay, yeah, I could sleep with that loss. Where if I short it above the VWAPs, just trying to call the top, and sometimes it'll work, many times it will not, I don't really have a good excuse on why I took that, because I know that's not my best play. So I think it really comes down to, like Tanner was saying with the discipline, if you go through your journal and truly gain confidence on what you're looking for, that I don't need to think, is this a good setup? Do I want to be in this? I know I want to be in it. I don't know the outcome, but I know I've seen this setup time and time again that my only job is just to execute it with good risk. If I get out of the way after that, let it do its thing, stop loss or take profit, I did my job. I don't know if this is going to sell off randomly when it's above every VWAP, and it's not my job to know that either. I'm just going to read and react to the new information as we get it. Right now we're holding above VWAP, so I should be looking for longs. Simple.
So on the pullback here, we're getting ready for a potential break and retest. So I'm going to teach you guys the double break trade later, but the break and retest is another one that we like. It's a little bit simpler of a name than Chris's name for his trade, but it's very similar in the setup where we're looking for the breakout. I'm looking for this to stop on the VWAP, play around it maybe, but turn. I'm not just buying this here. And that's why I have this short markup on, because I want you to see the double break short is in play technically. But would we want to short it into overnight VWAP? Would we want to short it on one small little close under VWAP so far since 9:30? No. Instead, I'm looking at something like this for a long, and the stop is going to go at the session low. If you don't like the stop, don't take the trade. That's another one-liner. If you don't like the stop, don't take the trade. So we'll put a long on here. Tighten this up. What was that beat? That sounds like a heart rate monitor or something, dude. Sounds like is that an ankle monitor? What is that?
That's the best trading indicator, the heart rate monitor.
If that is an ankle monitor, my bad. Don't beat me up. All right, so you see what I'm looking at here? Questions on this trade. You can see my entry. You can see the bounce. I waited for a candle to be bullish and turn off the VWAP, and I am targeting really session highs. I'm going to look over at Bookmap and see what's above, 75.05, 75.10, and I'm going to watch those two levels, 75.05, 75.10. And then I'll pop back over to that Bookmap and check to see if things change. I'll usually watch it just like this.
I'm focused on the fade on NQ because I think we're going to trade sideways. I don't think that's going to, I think ES does look stronger, but until I see some continuation and follow through, and I'm looking for acceptance. I want to see price accept outside of this value area that we've established all night, right? We can easily reject at its highs. So I would like to see us break it and hold above it, not just for 5 minutes, not just for a little bit. I'd like to see some acceptance that we're going to keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to anticipate the rejection.
Anybody else long? Zach, I know you can't do it. You're looking at R2Y?
I'm getting ready to get short.
On YM or R2Y? Tanner?
Pull me up. So
Yes, sir. Yes, Joe Rogan.
again, this is why I'm huge on that's Evan's screen. I'm just big on leaving the stop where it is at the extreme, right? Because look what's happening again. Like this 50,000 continues to hold here. And so anyone panicking down here going, okay, this is for sure going to dump. It's going to dump. It's going to dump. It's like, it's not wrong until it's wrong, but it's also not right until it's right. So
we bet the battle, Chris, you and me long versus him short?
well, I'm in YM, so you guys can do whatever the fuck you want.
I know. I'm ES, he's NQ, he's YM. We should have worn shirts that say what we are trading.
YM.
Okay, so here's mine, just sitting here right now. Anybody else in along? All right, now we're piling in. Good thing we're all on sim accounts for the most part. I'm going to move the market. Should we dovetail for a second? Does anyone have any pressing? We have a prop firm panel later today, but does anyone have anything pressing about like actually trading their prop account right now that's worth asking? You can save it for later. Okay. Now this is the fun part of trading. Anybody got a deck of cards? Because we're not at home at my stream. I can't pull up funny videos and shit. So now we're just sitting here waiting for this trade to do something, you know? People get into trading and they think it's going to be this like gunslinging thing. Unfortunately, it's not. You want to do that, we could do some sports bets. Anybody got sports bets on for later today? What are we doing? Where are we firing at? College baseball, Evan? So trading, in a lot of the senses, the money is made in waiting. Whether you win or lose, if you're taking the setups that you know should pay, the money is still going to be made in the waiting and really in the exit. The entry isn't going to make you the money for the most part. That may be a little bit of a brain breaker for some of you. The entry is not going to be, especially as a trending trader, I don't think your entry is going to be as important as your management of the trade. The exit itself is actually what's going to make you the money.
How about 40 points up here?
Let's see it, Chris. You got a mic?
So I shorted around 600 and up about 50 points at that point. So, up about $400 so far in the session. 500, covering one there as we come into the lower band.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to hold one for a runner, see if we revisit those lows.
I love it. Tanner, how's yours looking?
Why the trade's not over till it's over. See, it was looking good. I might get cooked right here on 10 a.m. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's not looking. I don't like this candle. Don't like this bar. But I'm not going to freak out or do anything. That's the thing. Is like I'm just letting the trade do its thing. I can sit here and bitch about it and think what I'm going to think, but I'm just going to let it do its thing. Because, again, it's not over till it's over both ways, right? I'm not stopped out till I'm stopped out. I'm not TP'd till I'm TP'd. So I'm going to still let it do its thing. Again, what I don't like on this is we're consistently rejecting VWAP and staying under it. But I love this 50,000 as well. So it's like buyers are still kind of trying to defend this 50,000 area. So
Trump said 50,000 will go to 100,000 for the Dow very quickly. Could you imagine
let's
that?
do that right now.
Like, could you imagine what the fuck? What does that even mean? Real quick, just on this one, I want to you can see I'm still in the trade. What did I say a second ago about the long? Don't take the trade if you don't like the. Why? Because we're not thinking about reward anymore. We're thinking about risk. Right, exactly. So we're looking at risk. Where is the trade invalid? At the session low. That's why the stop is there. How many of you at home would probably choke this thing and be like, no, I'll put a stop right here at this previous structure point that I can see. And then bang, you get stopped because everybody and their mother sees that and the algos see that and they chop you to bits. The stop at the session low, the 930 low, is the invalidation point. Through testing and through trading this thing, if that low is taken, longs are dead. Until that low is taken, longs are in play. You have an overnight VWAP, we may bounce off of it. You have a New York VWAP we could continue off of. Sometimes this trade will present and the overnight VWAP will not even be in the picture. And I will still put the stop at the session low. Why? Because I can't predict where the higher low is. I can only know that if this low is taken, that's the invalidation for the shorts. Does that make sense? That's probably the smartest thing I've said so far. So even if there is no VWAP to be like, I'll put the stop underneath that VWAP a little bit so I'll be safe. Even if that VWAP's not there, it doesn't matter. There still can be a pullback underneath New York and then back through. Brian taught me something super valuable here. Let me just erase this stuff. VWAPs are not to be respected directly. It is not going to just hit the VWAP and turn. It'll play around it. It'll dance with it. Because on a higher time frame, it's going to look like a pin to it. So you can't expect this thing to respect that line exactly. You got to give it some finesse. You got to give it some feel. How do I do that? I measure the opening range. It's about 20 points. I know that this thing may pull back 5 to 10 points off of a VWAP because opening range is 20. Half of opening range is what I give it. Just a little discretionary rule. Okay? Chris, how's your trade? I hope he's losing.
So it came back on me a little bit on my runner, which was at my entry's at 600. So instead of covering my runner, I actually added to it. So
Let's go.
I came back to it, and now I'm just short 2. I added 1, right? So I was short 6 at one point.
Attaboy.
Covered a little bit as it started to work, and now it's starting to work again. So look at that. So instead of stopping out at my entry this time, guys, I added.
Why?
At the entry point.
Why?
I like this trade.
Okay.
I like the trade.
Okay. Or he just wants to make more money than us.
Yeah, I'm trying to get mine pulled up here, but I am short NQ. Always going to be the guy shorting all-time highs. Listen, did not get my trade on YM. Sat patient for 33 minutes here, and like Austin was starting to say there's something to be said. Mine's not up right now. It's doing some jacked up thing. There's something to be said for sitting patient. There's something to be said for waiting for your setup to come. And I take a lot of flack for that trading live. Most of my trades are fuller risk trades, all in, all out. I don't take a lot of scalps, not that there's anything wrong with that. So for me, it is really important for me to wait patiently for my trade setup to come. And I think in the past, I certainly struggled with it. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Market opens up, it's moving, news is coming in, people are taking trades left and right, and we go, short, long. And then when you look back at it, you go, what was that? There's nothing there. We weren't at VWAP. We weren't at, whatever zone I'm trading off of, whatever tool you use, right? Because we're all using different things. There was nothing there for you, right? So try your best to remember this is a waiting game. You have to wait for the market to come to you. Anything you do in between your edge presenting itself, your setup coming, is just a gamble. There's no reason to be putting risk on. I've done so much better preserving capital and then putting more risk on when that presents itself than I have taking 47 trades that don't make any sense. So
Great point. In Tanner's comment earlier about annotating the charts, if you trade with me, this is how I like to trade. I almost think about the annotation that I'm going to do before I take the trade. I say to myself, if we've been bullish, making new highs all night, if we're near all-time highs, and then buyers step in and just hold VWAP, break opening range high, and then pull back to VWAP, what am I going to say 3 hours later? Oh, I probably should have bought that bounce with a stop at the session low. How do I know I'm going to say that? Because I've done so many annotations of this setup. So you want to get more confident in the setups? Do more markups. He calls them, what did you call them? Annotations, but you said something else. Markups. I call it markups. Yeah. Putting your thoughts on the chart. I don't think it's valuable for you to come here, and this is super important because don't just waste your time doing this bullshit. You come in here and you put little text, buyers stepped in, buyers stepped out. How do you feel? What emotion is this inducing? Why is this what you like? What else is happening that I can't see that you like? That's what needs to be annotated. Okay? So we're watching Bookmap as well. 7510 has 113 contracts on it above. That's the big chunk above. There's some orders below, but they're not getting thicker. So I'm liking the long here on ES. But it's going to be really cool when I make money on ES and he makes money short and long on NQ. And then you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. There's no right way of trading. You're either making money or you're not. Boys, Evan, are you in the trade?
So I did get involved in the NQ long. I also like the ES right off its daily VWAP, the black one, and then now breaking above the blue one. So as simple as Austin put it, if this were to make a higher high, would I have wanted to been in that? And if it makes a new lower low from here and breaks out the open range low, do I still want to be long? Well, not from this price when buyers were in control above New York and now we're beneath the blue and the black one. No, I don't want to be long up there. Let me reassess. Maybe we do find a short or I'm one and done for the day. But if this goes higher, everything was pointing towards long, so I need to be in that and just play the probabilities. This is what's worked almost every day of the week and of the month. So if I don't take this, I'm going to magically predict that I knew that one was going to lose. No, I just got to play the probabilities, keep playing the same ideas, and let the outcomes be what they may.
Can I ask Randy, can you summon a boner candle for us, brother, from the back of the room? Should have put Randy up here
Here's
today.
a YM boner candle right now. Randy,
How's
right
yours
now.
look, Tanner? Let's take a look. Oh, good,
See,
dude.
This
Little
is
wedge
why,
at the
like,
bottom for
I
you,
don't,
bro?
I'm just letting it do its thing. I don't know. It still could be wrong. Like, so this is the hard part with VWAP is right here. We keep rejecting VWAP, but this is where context comes into play, I guess, and just experience of like the bigger picture of me looking for this continuation back higher, even though we're settling below VWAP right here. This 50,000 is a big
I like
level.
it. I
That's
think
why
the
like
slowing is
levels.
good. The slowing under the VWAP says sellers are not stepping in, it's smoking it.
Yeah, exactly. So it could hold, but it's still rejecting, just to stay objective here. So again, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Once eventually we clear maybe 124s, I can have something to say, or I'm going to be stopped out. So other than that, I'm just letting the trade. There's something to do.
Maybe a good tip to mention here too is like position size really, really matters, right? Like imagine being up on stage in front of 100 people taking trades. If you don't know how to position size yourself correctly, you're going to freak out and you're going to cut the trade short. You're going to abandon the plan. So I think someone in the front mentioned it about size being the reason or the tip to focus on to build confidence. Maybe some of you are trading too big. Another tip, and we'll get into this later with the prop firm stuff, is like maybe have an account that you can trade bigger in and then have an account that you trade smaller in. And that one maybe is your slow grinder, and the bigger account could be the one you trade a little more aggressively. Who's been trying something like that and it's helped them with prop firms? Anybody? Having that fuck it account, we call it? Yeah. Well, hey, you're laughing, everybody, but guess what? You buy accounts and don't call them fuck it accounts and you still fuck them off. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well have a fuck it account that you can torch it and not care as much because it was $18 from Apex, and then have a serious account that can take a big payout that you have a structured system in place in. Right. That's been a super helpful tip for me that I don't hear a lot of people advocating for, because I think a lot of traders, I went to a conference once, the guy was like, stop using the word degen, stop using the word, dude. You have to embrace who you are. I like to gamble. So I'm trying to find how to make money trading as someone who is a little bit of a degenerate and a little bit of a gambler. So I need that fuck it account to scratch the itch. The only people laughing are the same motherfuckers as me, bro. And then you have that slow, steady cash account, the slow grower that you know your risk. And why? I'm so disciplined on that account that I have to be structured in because I have the account that I can go put 10 minis on and just like fucking let it go. You know what I'm saying? So, little tip.
I think that's great advice. Excellent advice.
Oh, you're dark. No. Zach took you. Tech boys.
Yeah, I'll talk for a minute. I'm still short NQ from 29.5,
Sucks.
96, 75.
Sucks.
I'm up almost $1,000. For some reason, I can't get this thing back and forth to work, but I'm looking to take profit pretty soon. I'd love to be able to show this once, but part of the tech deal. I didn't get my trade on YM. I was waiting for it. No, it's okay. It's not. For some reason, it's not clicking up. Didn't get my trade on YM. Waited patiently, sat patient. I find myself more of that mean reversion style trader. Even near all-time highs, I'm usually the guy caught short in it. I will try to find that continuation if I can on maybe a lower time frame. And on NQ, for example, we traded off the high of the session 350 ticks before I got short. So I'm not the super aggressive, the way you guys will see me do live on YouTube every day, buying into the low of the session on YM for that big reversion. I still go much wider take profits and much wider stop losses than most guys do. Fuller risk. I'm only going to give myself 1, maybe 2 trades a day before I'm done. And yeah.
I like it.
Nice trade, Zach.
Ev, how you looking?
Yeah, there's really nothing to do here. I'm looking at like the 15-minute. That's the one other time frame I use besides the 1 or the 2. There's no difference. It's just for how I draw things. But the same VWAPs of this previous day's New York session, still above that, still made a new high overnight. So until this makes a new low a day from that little pre-market where we bounced at, I'm going to hold on to the long bias. Now, you don't have to play the long bias, but you could just keep that one direction. And then if this works lower, like the boys' trades, then you can maybe look for a short after that. But as I said at the beginning, it's long or flat until we get new information to convince me more that the longs maybe aren't working out so much and the sellers are working. So we're right at this VWAP. You can see the overnight on NQ just really failing to make this higher high. So it is lower highs on top, but we know big picture, a higher low could come in down here, and we finally do make that higher high. So it's just a matter of waiting to see if buyers have that strength. But just sitting till stop loss, nothing to do.
You look at these setups today, everybody. You see how since I took the entry, it really has not moved. We've sat at the same price on ES. You look at Tanner's trade. Tanner, can you go to a lower time frame? It'll be easier for them to see just the wedge that it's forming down here. Something that I like, it's going to maybe be a little bit harder to understand today. See how this is wedging? I mean, are we familiar with a wedge, everybody? Triangle pattern. I'm not big on them. When I see consolidation, you can call it consolidation, I look at who has been in control. And I lean on thinking that is the side we will break the consolidation. Simple. I'm not going to come in and be like, now I found this consolidation. It's going to go lower. Like Tanner's saying. He's looking at the consolidation there and saying, it's good. It's sitting at a VWAP. I gave it space to play. It's sitting at the VWAP. Once we're ready to go, I'm probably back in trend with this thing. Similar to mine, sitting here, you could panic. Man, I'm telling you, don't lie to me. I know some of you would be in this trade at home thinking, I'm wrong because it's not moving. You'd be thinking that it's wrong instead of looking at what it's done. Who has been in control? We had literally one close on ES of sellers under New York VWAP. And then you have to sit there with yourself and be like, wow, I was really going to bail on this thing because I was reacting too emotionally. But by slowing myself down and asking who has been in control, I kept myself in the trade. I didn't panic. And that builds confidence. That's what we're trying to do. Does that make sense? Little head nod? Yeah? Everybody doing okay? Not too cold, not too hot? Just right? A little cold back there, buddy? You want a sweater? You want a little cardigan? If you need coffee, everybody, stand up, please. Get some. I said it's like a lecture, but definitely feed yourself. Get coffee. Lunch will be in a little bit. But we're just going to hang here for a second and see. Boys, anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to run through a quick recap here. Going before pre-market, I want to just show everybody how this is. I'm looking for very specific setups. All right, they're numbered, they're named. So every time I see one, I can actually label what it's called, what the name is. Right. So the first setup I took was this higher time frame price discovery continuation long off the weekly upper band. That took us back to all-time highs. Okay. Once we got to all-time highs, what was I looking for? Acceptance, right? Time and distance outside of value, we did not get that, right? So, and I said, if we did not get that, what am I going to expect? Probably we're going to establish some balance, right? So I looked for the next move, which was a fade value area extreme once we returned into the value area. And the next trade where I took profits was the lower band. It went to the tick off that lower band, right? Back to VWAP. So when we're in the value area, we can expect choppy range sideways conditions until we accept to one side or the other.
Yeah, I'll break down mine real quick. Go ahead, Tanner. I'll try to put mine back.
Evan, you look good. See, I think maybe what's insightful too is like stop loss placement between me and them. Like it's very different, right? Like you look at the way Evan and I trade, we have a stop 16. My stop is 16 points from my entry. It's low. Who's putting a 16-point stop in comfortably? Anybody in here? You like that? Good. I'm cool with that. Who wants a tighter stop than that? Okay, why? Do you want more size? Buy a bigger account. Get more cash. I would be lying to you if I told you that the main compliment that people give to me is my entry. No one says that. I've had all the compliments on my stop loss. Oh man, I tried bigger stops like you were doing. I thought it'd be too big, but it actually helps me stay in the trades and breathe. Can anyone maybe speak, Cam, or anybody that's been around? How has opening up the stop loss a little bit let you breathe help? Yeah? Can we get a microphone back there? Thank you. Just for some of those that want the tighter stop.
Well, I like the bigger stop ever since joining your group a couple months ago, Austin. And it really does help you breathe. But same thing that Brian has said from his videos and his summit conferences like this, the market's a wave, but also it's invalidation points of your trade. And that gives you confidence too. Even when you lose, this is a game of playing the long game. So if your trade idea is fully disconfirmed at a key level, it gives me confidence that I can go back to my trade journal and say, okay, was I trading against the trend, or was it a good trade? And maybe the Trump news hits or whatever the case may be, the random Trump tweets. So it's just the bigger stop just gives me a level of patience and guidance, and no more what if thoughts in my head of I knew I should have had a bigger one, because I think everyone in here has had those trades of just it should have been a little bit bigger.
100%. Anybody in here thinking maybe they'll go home and try? Go ahead, Lawrence, sorry.
Yeah, so I think that, depending on the conditions and how you trade should always align. So, for example, if you're trading VWAP, right, a lot of times you may be, dwindling in the middle, right? So the stop would make sense to be larger when you're trading in the middle of some type of, range or structure. But if your edge is at the edge, then the stop loss should be smaller, per se. Would you agree?
Yeah. Okay. Now we're just going to get right into it, everybody. Who here is still looking at our multiple on their day trades? Oh, my God. Are you lying? Nobody?
Me.
I know you are, but you have a low win rate, so you need to. You can't have a 30% win rate and not look at our multiple. But I have a 70% win rate, sometimes higher, depending on what frame of months you're looking at. So everyone here is not worried about R multiple. So if I close this trade with a 16-point stop and I'm up almost 10, that wouldn't bother you? No? Okay, good. Then I don't have to have a little rant about it. So thanks for saving me the rant. I just don't think thanks, sir. I don't think that the idea of having the R multiple as your focus, everybody, is going to make you more money.
So I'm 9 months into my journey here, and I've passed 3 evals. And
Awesome.
what I struggle with is not over trading in the sense, should I be copy trading, or should I just be doing each one individually? Because as I see it, like there might be a trade later in the day, and I've already kind of done my. If I'm copy trading, I kind of set myself a limit.
100%.
But then again, it's like, well, being so new, should I be like getting the reps in essentially?
Great question. Who in here is copy trading, either with one firm or multiple prop firms? So the argument, I think, starts with like when you are trading prop firms, you probably should be copy trading once you can afford it and are trading well enough, because there's no point in trading a prop with just one account. Just trade your own money. I think that's the essence of it. So it probably, I'd love to hear answers from you guys. It probably, for me, would just come down to how confident in the data that you've traded over the last couple of months are you, to then say, yeah, let's take the leap and try copy trading. And I would say there are 13 guys in here in the back of the room that have all copy traded with multiple prop firms. Ask all of them, just like these guys will give answers. Get everybody's answer, because I get actually negative comments of people telling me, Austin, you trade so well. Why aren't you copy trading more? So I can understand what you're saying 100%. Yeah. Anybody else have an answer to that about should he start copy trading?
Yeah, so when it comes to copy trading, you need to prove yourself with one first, and I would do that multiple times, because otherwise you get into like the whole trader math thing, which everyone does, and that's how prop firms sell you, to be honest. It's like, oh, well, if I copy trade, that's why Apex only makes money. I can copy trade 20 accounts. Oh my God, that's a $50,000 payout every 8 days. And it's like, okay, yeah, if you can do that, like it's, the rules are hard. So it's definitely, if you're going to copy trade, I feel like people get too aggressive too soon with doing like, okay, I'm going to do, 5 full accounts, and then I'm going to do trade syncer right away and stuff. But it's like, if you're only taking a few payouts, it's like scale 1 account, add a second, maybe do 3, and then like 1 prop firm max allocation with them, stick with that, see how much you can do that. And then from there, go into the whole, maybe trade syncer, all that type of stuff. But like definitely just stick with 1.
And Trade Syncer, not to dog anybody, but Trade Copia has gotten a lot of good reviews, so you might want to trade Copia.
Yeah.
Also on the longs, as you can see, I'm out, everybody. So W's there if you're Ev. What are you doing? Yep, in profit. Looks good.
We got another question right here.
Still stuck, Tanner. Yes, another question.
I know, I'm still stuck, not doing anything, but I'm just waiting for it to do something. Do something! Like poking it with a stick.
In this less than a year,
Okay.
and I've been taught 2% rule of the portfolio, and I saw you having a big stop loss. So what is the psychology behind that?
I think it starts with the market, especially right now, is very volatile. So I like to let things breathe first. Second, it starts with backtesting. Backtesting to me is doing chart markups. I don't do automated backtesting. I don't have a software. I don't do any. I just do chart markups by hand. It's what I've done for 12 years. That has built the confidence to know where the stop should go. So the macro of the Trump thing is not the driver. The macro of the news is not the driver. And none of it is. It's the technicals. So what I would say is like the bigger stop loss was reaffirmed to me by studying this break and retest setup over and over and over again. And you see how beautifully this one works? You can see my screen, right? See, Yeah. So you can see this one sits nicely, takes out this previous high. We get a nice flush here, good exit, about a 10-point trade. Sometimes this trade will sit here, come back down, hit here, go here. So it can look a lot different each time. It's like a snowflake. Because of that, I got to give it the space. I don't know which snowflake is falling for me right here. I just got to give it the proper space. Does that answer the question? Does that make a little sense?
Yeah, but so this came through time, right? So earlier you followed 2% rule?
Definitely.
Okay.
What else? Was there another one there? Or was that it?
Just that.
Okay.
So I unfortunately have to do a trade review on this one because I couldn't get it working as I was up. I'm going to show you guys everything, and then I'm going to take a damn payout with you.
Yeah.
This was on NQ, similar to what I try to do on YM, which it's not my bread and butter on NQ. If we look at NQ real quick, just to go technical with this, on the daily, it looks very different than YM. Even on a high time frame structure, here's prior all-time highs. Look at how we've ripped. If I take a look at YM for you guys, just so you know when you hop on and I'm short in YM, look at how different this looked, right? Like I got comments in here as I was taking some quick shorts on super choppy back and forth days, and I was cleaning up. So it is important to really understand, we started to talk about that, whatever instrument you're trading. This one on NQ, we rejected off these highs super, super heavy. Let's see if it starts to lag out for me again. Rejected off these highs super, super heavy. I like to watch the 15-minute. I got involved as we broke through VWAP, retested, and started to come back down. Was really hoping for a big push lower, but figured I would take some profit quick, get in, get out, get paid. I'm happy that I did because this would have been a nasty push through. I'm gonna show you guys, this is the account on Tradeovate. This is the P&L. I'm gonna just try to do it because I hate doing this. I love being able to show my stuff, so super duper frustrating. Here was the position for today, entry, exit, take profit. And we're ready to request a payout. This is the top one live account.
This guy, he beats himself up. He's frustrated he can't show us. Everybody gets it. You see what he's doing, and it's killer. And it did exactly what we said. He made money short. The other two made money long.
Here's what I want to like hammer home, because this is nothing crazy, right? We're going to take a $1,000 payout. I'm going to get 80% to somebody asking if you should be copy trading. Keep it slow, keep it low, keep it controlled. When I came to trading with some money and with some success, and I hammered it, and all I did was lose money. I loaded up live accounts, and I was just a slow bleed, straight shot down. And now, even as I've continued to scale, I still try to trade accounts individually. If I trade them really aggressively on the prop firm side, I accept the risks that I'm putting on. If I'm trading a live account, I try to trade below my skill level. If you really start to push that and exceed, which you do want to scale up, you want to put some size on, you want to make some meaningful money, it turns into this mental gymnastics game that is so much harder to master. So keep it controlled. If you're 10 years in, you're still going to be having to scale. And if you're way outside your means on position size and stop loss sizing, it's way harder to deal with. So we're all faced with that, even as you gain consistency on the charts. Keep it controlled. So I'm going to share one more only because I got like 3 more payouts loaded up. I do trade accounts individually. I got to hype it up because now I missed my damn trade.
How many payouts are you taking?
We're going to take like 4 today. I got 3 loaded up with Top Step and 1 with Take Profit.
While he does that, did anybody make money on the longs? Look at that. Pan the room. Good job. Round of applause for yourselves. We're not going to make $1 million in one trade. That ain't ever going to be it unless you got a big account, but it's good to get a green trade. Before Chris goes, and before you finish that, did you have a question?
I was just curious of like trail stopping, especially with prop firms.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I don't even know how to trail a stop. Brian will kill me, but I don't like trailing the stops. Are you guys trailing stops ever? Are you ever trailing your stop?
Usually not. Proactively taking profits.
Look at this real quick. I mean, look, like when it moves in one direction quickly, I'm out. If I can get 6, 7, 8 minutes in one direction, give it to me because I know it probably pulls back. Not always, but it probably will give me another trade today. So I just take it. And then I end up watching it go higher. And it's okay. Like you just don't, that's not your money. The analogy we used to use back in the day was like a rack of ribs. The end pieces suck. The middle of the ribs is the nice stuff. That's the trade. You don't need it at the end or the end. You need the middle. Who's hungry? Are we ready for payouts, big dog? Should I put you up on screen? No. Okay, not yet. I don't want to put your account number up there, and then somebody will steal your payout.
So I got stopped out. It's gone.
Is
Done.
it?
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. It sucks. Like, honestly, that was like such a good attempt, and I'm not mad about it. I'm frustrated right now. I'm going, fuck, dude, are you serious? I sat through all of that for like 45 minutes. It just went sideways. But I literally am like, you know what? That was a really good attempt. It's just unfortunate it failed. And that's trading for you. Like literally, like that's just what happens sometimes. So it's like, take it for what it is. And I'm not gonna lie, right now I'm like annoyed because I'm like, that should have worked. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but it didn't.
Dude,
and that's that.
Isn't it so good that your presentation is today?
Yeah.
It's perfect for this.
I know.
Okay.
Like, it's gonna be great.
We have more payouts, not to stem off of Tanner. Tanner took the loss well. I mean, that's part of the game. We have more payouts here. Potentially.
So really happy with how I traded this morning between the longs and the fades, as I anticipated that we would continue to trade in this value area that we established overnight. Pretty reliable entry points and take profit points. So I traded fairly small. I did not want to try and rip it out of the park today. I kind of wanted to be more consistent, demonstrate some good trades. And these are my stats for today. $540 in the cash account. This is a cash account. And what I like to do, I do this on stream a lot, but is I pay myself out of the cash account. All right, so I go over, and Trade Evade's really nice because you put this right in, and usually it's in my bank account by the afternoon. Wow. So $540 in the bank to this morning.
Big W, very nice. Yeah, I think that you can see, like, no one up here panicked. Every one of us was in drawdown at some point. It's interesting, right? Can you pull your chart up real quick? Look at the way Chris trades. His red arrows are pointing to his entries, correct?
Yep.
So red arrows point to where he's taking positions. How many times did you enter the market with your add-ins and everything today?
A lot. I mean, more than I could probably even count at this point.
So that's what this is why this event is so sick. Because if you associate with that, talk to this guy, read his books, get in his room. You associate more with me, I can help you out too. It's up to you. No right or wrong. We're both making money. All right? Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
Hell yeah. You ready for us, Zach? You got more payouts? Brag? Evan, what about you, buddy? How are you doing over here? Are you out?
No, so I keep an eye on ES. I mean, I wouldn't want to be selling it on ES as it's sitting on its open range high above its New York VWAP in the daily. So my NQ's back at break even or drawdown break even. But same thing, it's still making these higher lows underneath. Until both VWAPs are taken to the downside and these higher lows are taken, I'm still going to hold on to my long. I rarely trim my trade, but I could maybe look to take some pieces off there if it does break structure. But I go in with the risk that I'm willing to lose, and until it stops me out, I have a chance of being right. So I'm just going to not get in front of it and mismanage it, and then have to maybe get back in before I was wrong. So just going to give it the room.
You're fine.
Pretty slow today.
Because look
ES
at
was the clean one.
Look at Bookmap on ES. ES, no orders below, orders only above, 75.10, 75.05. So this Bookmap, 75.15. This Bookmap tells me we can get another ES trade potentially today. You know, whether you're going to play this as an ES opening range high bounce, or you'll wait for a VWAP pullback, or throw a high of day VWAP on and look for longs once buyers really step in. So we can sit here, that purple VWAP will now be your session high VWAP, right? Because it breaks above free market highs. That's our, is that 75.05? Yeah, that's our all-time high. Wow. So now watch as buyers take this VWAP. We see maybe more extension up into these 75.10s and see if that'll pull Evans' trade higher. Questions? Can we get Sean a mic, please? Big dog. I mean, it's like stream, right? Just now you have to talk instead of type the chat, Sean.
Yeah, this is a lot better.
Yeah.
So I've been trading your system, doing the VWAP, the break and retest, the VWAP bounce, all that. I've found a lot of success with it, which is great. Sizing, I've been also kind of matching the sizing I see with you guys. I've been changing my sizing based on my account size. So now I'm doing maybe 2 or 3 minis, but at the same time, I really look to see how far my stop loss is gonna be. And I'm like, okay, I need to adjust the minis. I can't have 3 all the time. Maybe I have to have 2 or 1. Today, I kind of botched it a little bit, I was just like, okay, let's do 3 minis. But then I got scared. I took off 1. Hey, at least I only took off 1. I made a couple $100. Fine. How do you, what's the psychology that I need to have to hold that longer and hold my winners? Because I want it
more gray hair, more experience.
I got a few patches.
It comes through time, bro.
Yeah, because I want to hold longer. I want to get those and I have been recently. I've progressively been getting, for the last week, $800 day, $1,000 day, $1,200 day, $1,300 day, all on one account.
Yeah.
And that's been great for me. But so you're saying just experience to be able to.
You just said it, not me. I mean, I said it and then you said it, but you just said it. Over the last 2 weeks, you just said it's gotten better.
Yeah,
so
it has gotten better, but today's been a lower day, and
Well, you're around a bunch of people. You're out of your zone. So when you said that, the first thought I had is focus. I think something that's not talked about a lot is self-awareness. What's going on outside your life? Tanner talked about this last month. What's going on outside that may not allow you to focus? Today, dude, we're all hopped up. Austin's got house music playing. This shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We're at the boot camp. Size down. Take it easy. Speed and size are going to kill you. Yep. You might make some money, but like he said, over the long run, it kills you. So if you can submit to the process, what's an analogy? Like in jiu-jitsu, bro. Just submit there and you're just rolling with this dude for 5 minutes. Just stick in till the end of the round. You're going to get a breath. The next round, you're going to feel like you know him a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know his tell. You'll start to know yourself better. You know what? Today, I got to go do this thing. Let me just cut the size, I'm going to be okay. And then the day where you are on, you've had a great week, it's Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday was great. That's where we can be at full size. So I think the self-awareness is a piece of it, and then the experience, the time of just doing it over and over, you know? But look, I only traded I made $500 like him, but I traded one contract and sat in one trade. He traded 16 times. What you're doing is not wrong, is what I'm saying. You took the self-awareness and said, man, I don't want to lose a bunch of money in front of these people. Let me risk 2 instead of 3. I'll lose a little bit in front of these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a bad thought. I think that's you. I think the bad thing would have been to close the trade. That's the only thing that would have been bad. Everything else you did is not bad because it's just your part of the journey in the experience that you've had so far. That version of you is going to die next year, and a new version is born. And then a new version is born, and you got that dog that I was talking about. You just keep evolving, and confidence grows through that evolution.
Yeah, and it's definitely a win for me today because I went from
making money is always a win.
150K account, I went from 4.8K to 5K. Hey, I'm closer to that payout.
Slug it out.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that's, and like I said, end of day today is a big prop firm panel. I'm sure we'll do a lot of questions, everybody. But I don't know anyone that's getting their prop firm payouts and definitely not getting a live account off 1 week of consistent trading. Maybe you run a hot week once. I've done it once, and it's still carried into Monday to get the payout. So if we can agree it's definitely going to be at least longer than a week, we can submit. We can do what you just did, put the green day on the calendar, see you tomorrow, which is, it's hard. We should have a whole session on that, stopping trading for the day and finding a hobby. Some of you tell me your hobby is trading, and I want to smack you. Trading is not a hobby.
I'm going to talk approach to prop accounts. We had some questions. You guys are all, how many of you are trading props? I know this is probably a stupid question. Okay, every single person, great. I think it's a big question. Should I copy trade? Should I trade one? Should I trade individually? It comes down to a couple key pieces, but I want to give you guys at least what I find as the sauce. What is your experience level? If it's low, you're a couple months in, a year in, you shouldn't be copy trading. You should be trading one eval super duper slowly. What's your capital allocation? Everybody's at a different spot in their life, right? Are you making big money in your businesses outside? Is this something where you're trying to come off of a minimum wage job, right? That's also going to dictate how aggressive or conservative you need to be with prop firms, just like the size of a live account that you'd be trading. If you are somebody that finds yourself being more aggressive, you are running bigger size, and let's talk about the accounts that we're trading as they are. They're $2,000 accounts, $4,000 accounts. We do have to put some big size on just to be able to pass them and then potentially take a payout. But if you're somebody that's putting more size on in general, trading them individually can be a huge power play. You are not putting all of your eggs in one basket, especially if you're not super conservative early on. You have the ability to go back and forth throughout the trading day and maybe trade multiple different instruments and designate them to different accounts. If you are someone that's more conservative, you're more risk averse, copy trading, big power play. You can link together a ton of accounts, trade them as if you're trading one live account very, very slowly, multiple weeks, multiple months maybe, and when you go to take a payout, it's across 20 accounts. But I will say trading props is very different than trading a live account. And I was more of a purist on this in the past because I came from live accounts and I was pissed off at everybody sim farming and just YOLOing accounts nonstop. Alan knows about this one. But I will say I won't be completely naive. We are playing a game with prop firms, and the max loss limit to profit target ratio, what we're expected to do in 30 days and then to pass an eval and then to potentially put up a payout, is extremely aggressive, and it's not done quickly or consistently without risking ruin, without potentially losing the account. You'll hear Austin say that in a much quicker way. You're going to burn some effing accounts, okay? You're going to burn some accounts. That means that so understand that piece as well and set your expectations. You're not going to get rich off trading one 50K eval for $50, right? Maybe you're going to work your way extremely slowly through trading multiple months if you're not going to risk ruin. I'm not advocating for just completely aggressive over risk on trading, but I want to talk about that. It's really important so you can set the expectation. For me, individually, my approach right now, I'm trading live accounts. My approach to trading evals and prop accounts has been individual, very aggressive, risking ruin quickly in evals. I'm either pass or failing in the minimum amount of time, and then in the funded account, also very aggressive. Maybe not full porting them every single day, but very aggressive. If I make it to a live account like I had with Top 1 Futures, I will say this is my second one with them. I slowed it down, right? I understand, hey, what is my average win rate and risk to reward? How many losses do I really need to be able to take, given those stats, to hold on to this account? And that's how I was able to hold on to that account. Austin did as well. He actually beat me on payouts. We were close for a while, but he cooked me. For 6 months to 26 payouts from the same singular live account. Was that getting rich doing it? Absolutely not. Small payouts, a few $100. You know, I did put up a big day in there towards the end. I got really aggressive and had a $12,000 winning trade. But you know, to hold on to an account, it's sizing down, slowing down. So understand what we're doing with these prop firm accounts. I think it's really important. There's no wrong or right way to approach it. You will have to play within the rules. You're going to have to find that balance. But understand, we're trading $2,000 accounts. We're expected to put up, on average, $3,000 to pass. And then maybe in a funded account to take a payout, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 to $6,000, maybe on a $2,000 account. That's an insane risk, rate of return, right? So if you're going to do that fast, you're going to risk ruin. Accept that on the front end. If you don't want to do that, slow down. Slow down, size down. So that's my sauce for today.
I love it. Are you ready for those other payouts or not yet?
Yeah, I submitted a handful, so I'll give you guys.
I just submitted a handful. It's just a fucking Thursday, dude.
Throw it over. Again, guys, listen, here's the other part. This is fun because it's like, can it be done, right? I used to sit back, and especially a year or two into trading, and I'm like, is everybody just effing, like, does anybody make money here? Is this just all BS? Like, of course, somebody has to be making money. So I'm happy to be able to display some of that. But I will say, this comes with experience. It's not my first or second or third or fourth year, right? It comes with a lot of pain and suffering beforehand and a lot of capital. There's money behind my trading. I am not trading, evals and prop accounts slowly. I burn through them. Maybe not at a rate that some guys do with $200,000 they're spending on prop firms a month, but not one or two very slowly. So I got a payout from the account that I just took. This is the beauty of trading a prop firm live account. If you do make it there, you are slowed down quite a bit, but you can take daily payouts. Top one shout out here. No consistency rule, 20% profit share on that one. 839 is going to hit the bank, and then I got a handful from Top Step. You'll also notice
who's that?
Got a handful from these guys. I'm going to show you them.
They didn't pay to get on the logos here.
And you'll note something here. None of these are big. In fact, none of these are max payouts, right, from 50K accounts. Maybe I'm taking multiple from some, so it's not that I'm, completely killing my max loss limit. But there's nothing wrong with paying yourself. And I'm happy to display that. So I was going to take this one this morning, and I said, you know what? I'm probably going to wait, until I take a $2,000 payout from these guys or a $3,000 payout. I took them today to display something. Take the money and put it in your bank, okay, guys? The prop firms don't want you to do this. Sorry, Clay, if you're in here, okay? They don't want you to get up from the table. They want you to keep gambling. They want you to go for the max payout, okay? That's why there's minimum trading days and a requirement to trade so much. If you have the opportunity, especially early on, and I'm happy to display it even down the road, to take a payout, please, dear good Lord, take a damn payout, guys. Put the money in the bank. Look at how many evals and funded accounts that potentially is, just in one individual payout. And I've done it before. I'm sure many of you in the room have. I'm able to take a $1,000 payout, and I go, oh man, it's going to cut into my max loss limit. I only have $1,000 to work with. If I just take this next NQ trade with 15 minis at the open, I'll be able to take a $2,000 payout.
Who was just talking about this last night? Was at a payout. Lawrence, weren't we just talking to somebody about this? At the payout, and then they lose that day because they just want you. It was you, wasn't it you?
Hell yeah, it was me, bro.
Right, you were like, I got a 10K payout locked up, and I want 12.
Yeah,
it was like time.
Yeah, like last year, I had $10,000, like a $10,000 payout on Lucid waiting for me. I just had to wait till end of day, and I was like, you know what? End of day, I can squeeze another 2 bands in there.
Oh, just squeeze them in.
Lost it, bro.
Meanwhile, it goes. Red. What's happening? Red. We've all been there, bro.
Yeah,
Real quick, Evan, you're out of this trade. So look at the big dog. Didn't I say he sits there quiet? Look at that.
We do have another question over here, Austin.
Okay, we'll swing to that in 1 second. For Evan's trade, everybody, just look at this correlation between the ES and the NQ. As I put that note on the chart about buyers stepping in, taking that high of day VWAP, what do you think Evan's thinking in NQ? Probably on the right side. I'm on the right side of my VWAP. ES is correlated. These two usually work together. Brian, I know, loves this stuff. High of day VWAP is taken. You have all your VWAPs aligned to the upside, and you get a new session high. So I look at this like this is a second trade. There's 2 trades today. My first trade here on ES, pullback, and another trade. That's usually what a good day looks like. If you're around me a lot, you know this is how I like to do it. You take one, great day. You take both, great day. There's no difference to me. Take that as the tip. I make money on one trade and I leave and I'm done with this, I'm happy. I make money on both, I'm still happy. It's literally no different. I don't see the second trade as being something I have to be in. My job is take the first good setup that presents and make money. Today, we got a couple of distractions going on, so I'm not going to be like lasered in taking every entry, and I'm happy that I'm green, right? That's what matters the most. So,
yeah, you want to throw me up on this one? The bounce off of New York VWAP, which I said in the pre-market on this opening range, these horizontal lines, seeing a break of it come in. So we break to the upside on a clearly buyers in control, but I could chase that, or I could just wait for the pullback to VWAP. We have that daily one in black and the New York. So I'm long with the stop loss at the low, and I actually added in as it breaks that high day VWAP that Austin mentioned, saying buyers are 100% back in.
Big dog.
After we held this higher low, full VWAP alignment. I see how ES is above every VWAP. Why would I think this goes lower? And it's moving slowly, but why would I think it goes lower just because it's not moving at the speed that I want, right? Obviously, I want a new high immediately. Get me out quickly. They don't often take this long, and then adding in. With my trades being the pullback to the VWAP, I'm just trying to target previous structure, anywhere we've already been. So a short, the low of day. On these longs, it's just the pullback. Take me right back to that high. Somewhere we've already been. If it breaks out higher, cool. Maybe I'll squeeze like one more micro on that, but I'm really just full in, full out. If this wants to pull back to the same VWAP, rather than still be in it, I'll just long it again, just following the entries as a higher low. I don't really want to chase higher highs. I'm too late. If I didn't get it at the VWAP, I don't want it anymore. I'll have to look for the next pullback.
Well said. Question in the back, please. Didn't forget, Pam. I never do.
I know. This is going back to you, Zach. You'd talked about live versus prop. I'm curious what each of you think we ought to have before we start our own, self-funded account for futures trading with EM and NQ. And I assume like middle of the road, conservative, aggressive.
Are you asking for a number?
Yeah.
So I'll start to field this one, and then you guys can give your own opinion. I'll go back, and I know this is not the exact answer to start. It's super individual. Super individual. You could trade one micro with with low margin, with an AMP account, a Trade Evade account, and maybe that's going to be a lot of money with a $1,000 account. If you're looking to make maybe a considerable return on investment, a larger account balance is going to be solid. I would try to wait until you have some amount of risk capital, because never trade with money you don't want to lose, not financial advice, but some amount of risk capital that you can actually work with and give yourself quite a number of losses. If you're going to trade minis or micros, I think just taking a look at whatever broker you're going to go with, the margin requirement, and make sure you're nowhere near that, right? Maybe it's $500 per NQ mini, and you want to trade one or two minis with a stop loss size of 500 or $1,000. How many losses do you want to give yourself? 20? Maybe it's a $10,000 or $20,000 account. But there's no right or wrong answer there. Same thing with props. We're all at different spots experience-wise and and level of capital. So I don't think you need to wait until a super huge number. But again, realistic expectations. Which is important, guys. What are the best rates of return from hedge funds, and what does the S&P do, right? And almost nobody's beating the S&P. Are we going to replace our full-time income with one $5,000 live account on Trade Evade? Probably not. Not unless we're YOLOing the thing every day and we get lucky and gambling it. So reasonable expectation, and I think that's going to help.
It's well said.
So I'll add to this too. Having like a set number for sure is difficult because again, it depends on your risk and what you're used to. I'll give an example of me. I loaded up a live account like a couple times here and there while I was doing props, and I would only put like $2,000 in it or like $3,000 or something like that. And like I'm used to trading, the $4,500 a drawdown or $6,000 a drawdown, depending on what firm. And I would just find that like I would just still trade it too aggressive, and I would just like nuke 2K, 2K, 2K. Until I finally went big and put like $50,000 in a real live account and was like, all right, well, I trade more aggressive, I trade bigger. I was like, maybe this will be something that'll actually like kind of make sense and allow me to like have more breathing room. Because again, like I don't really get like concerned if I lose 3K in a day, 4K in a day, 5K in a day even. Like it's like, if I get towards 10, like 10's like my max, like, okay, that's a lot of money. But in the past, literally like 2.5 months, that $50,000 account, I've made like close to $70,000 in profit on it in 2 months. So it's like, thank you. Appreciate it.
Big dub.
Thank you. So that's been really cool because that really has helped my confidence of being like, it's actually crazy. I haven't taken a payout in like 6 weeks because I haven't been focused on it. Like I haven't been trading props that much. I've been trading the live account, focused on that. And then again, the confidence that it's building where I'm like, dude, I can like, this is a full real deal, real futures account with real money in it.
The real deal futures.
The real deal futures. There you go. Plug Zach right there. And yeah, you're welcome. And honestly, that just built a lot of confidence where I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like really, really helping me. And doubling any account in general is like impressive, but like the fact that I was able to do that, like for myself, I'm not trying to brag either. I was like, the fact that I was able to do this with like a $50,000 account and I literally doubled it more than that, like almost 2x. I was like, damn, that built a lot of confidence in my trading overall. And again, just allows it to have more breathing room and stuff. So I would definitely try to get to the point where like you're taking so many consistent payouts. And for reference, before I even started this live account with $50,000 in it, I've taken about $300,000 in payouts. So it's like, I felt like I earned it kind of. I was like, all right, Tanner, like prove yourself. Like, are you ready to stop full porting in the open all the time? Like, you know, and just blowing these accounts and rinse. It really has built a lot of confidence in that. And so yeah, that's been something that's super cool. I even have it, if you can pull it up real quick here, I have my live account here. This is still the automation trade that hasn't stopped me out yet in it, so that's why there's still P&L going. But this is literally from March 1st to today, $78,000 in profit. So,
huge.
Yeah, there it is. And then you can see right here too, winning trades. I'm not lying, 43%.
No, it's good.
So
Hey, that's
like,
higher. You actually lowballed yourself.
Yeah,
Does that help,
exactly.
Pam? Yeah. And again, we're going to deep dive a lot of the prop firm stuff later today, everybody. So any questions you have, prop firm, save them. I promise we're going to get into it a lot later today. We've got a couple more minutes, and then we're going to take a break before Brian comes on. I want Chris to just go over something here on the long side, because you saw him long and short. You saw me and Evan on just the longs. So I'd like to see how Chris would play the longs.
So this was ES, and while I was focusing on NQ, ES actually teed up really nicely today. Roughly when I was taking that price discovery continuation off the weekly upper band, ES was holding the lower deviation band. That was kind of the launch point, up to the upper, back test of VWAP, and then we had that launch from the open. When we did have an initial, this would have been a price discovery continuation long, but there was no follow through, right? So when there's no follow through, we get out, we wait to see what's next. We had that big flush right back to VWAP, and I think that's where you guys went long.
I was long.
Okay, right. So then what I've been saying is I'm looking for acceptance, right? I want to see more time and distance, which we got, and we got a beautiful pullback right to the upper band, to the tick, which was the launch point. So
It's
textbook,
crazy.
price discovery continuation off that upper deviation.
I think it should be very powerful for you guys to see Chris can make money on ES with bands. He doesn't even have a VWAP at 9:30. His VWAP is from overnight. And then here's mine. Totally different, but still making money on ES. No right way. You're either making money or losing money, right? That's the tagline for the whole trip. Who made money this morning? Anybody up? Can I hear some shouts about how much you're up? 500, 1,000, 600. Here, how much? 1,000? Hands up again if you made money. Did anyone not make money? It's okay if you didn't. I'd like to help you. Sean, you made money. You're good. Okay.
Who had the highest P&L trade in here?
Anybody over $1,000 today? Sim, doesn't matter, real. Anybody over $1,500 today? 2,000? Look at them in the back of the room. The speaker's holding it down.
All
Good
right,
job,
Lawrence
boys.
is buying tequila shots. Thanks,
Drinks on the
Lawrence.
back of the room. Good job, boys. So, questions before we wrap up this first live trading session. Was it good? Do we like it? Good. It's good to make money on the first day. It helps loosen everything up a little bit. So, what we're going to do now, you guys get a 15-minute break. I want you to go get some fresh air. If you're a little cold in the back, go stand in the heat. You'd rather it be cold in here than hot. Trust me, because I know some of you stink. Grab a drink, 15 minutes. It's 10:51. I lied, not 15 minutes. Be back in here by 11. I'm giving you 10 minutes, please. 10 minutes. Laptops are not required the rest of the day. And anyone that's sitting in the couches, I do have a couple of seats up front if you'd like to come get one. There are a few open seats. So again, coffee break. We're coming back at exactly 11, everybody.